Delays continue on the Bishop Ford Freeway outbound from Dalton Avenue to 159th, where we had a stall. It's gone now. 17 to drive out to 8094.
Everybody's car is dirty,
South
right?
Lakeshore Drive, southbound heavy north to Chicago in Graham Park and getting into Hyde Park as well. Northbound traffic along the drive backed up from Soldier Field
must
to
be
Monroe
something
and
up
Wacker
there,
to
right?
Chicago Avenue.
Because the light's green and we're not moving.
Southbound with a heavy delay from the Bensonville Bridge to Ogden. The Jane Addams eastbound heavy at the ramp to westbound I-190 because of road work that continues on the exit ramp. The Reagan Tollway, I-88 eastbound backed up before York to the northbound Tri-State ramp.
Must
The
be a
Veterans
crash
Tollway
up
southbound slow from Army Trail to past North Avenue. Delays in the southwest burbs on I-80 westbound, past 30 to Larkin, and slight delays on 89.
We'll be all right when we get the ramp off.
Your next reports at 408 News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Cloudy today, maybe a shower later on. Periods of rain and thunderstorms tonight. Early, a low of 34. Then temperatures taking a dive. Temperatures only in the 30s tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday.
It must be at the
48
curb.
now at O'Hare. 56 Aurora. 41 Lakefront.
Featuring the news that matters and breaking news at any time. This is Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Coming up in the next half hour on News Radio WBBM.
This is Nancy Hardy. Indiana lawmakers continue to make forward progress in the pitch to bring the Chicago Bears there.
Meantime, Governor Pritzker says he's disappointed in the Bears' recent announcement. Plus, former Prince Andrew is released from jail after his arrest in connection to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. The latest on that coming up from CBS News. In business,
I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg. Wall Street ending lower on rising risks of a U.S. strike against Iran. The Dow today down 268 points. The Nasdaq down 71. The S&P lower by 19.
Yeah,
lots of
something here
clouds
looks
now,
like they
48
cleared
at
it out,
O'Hare,
right?
41 along the lakefront, 56 in Aurora. Could get some rain and thunderstorms tonight. It is 4 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is released from police custody nearly 12 hours after his arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office in connection with Jeffrey Epstein. This Londoner's reaction?
However he gets what he deserves. If it's life in jail, then it's life in jail. If it's exile, then it's exile.
CBS
Exile.
Elsa Anderson served as a press secretary to the late Queen Elizabeth.
I'm quite glad that I'm not working at Buckingham Palace today.
She's
They don't fool around in England. They say, you're out, right? You know, Australia was a penal colony. They threw everybody out, right? You get exiled from the kingdom.
With
That's
potentially
bad, huh?
farther to fall, the police have not given up their investigation into allegations of misconduct in public office. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London. New Mexico's Attorney General reopens the investigation into allegations of illegal activity at Epstein's former Zorro Ranch, 30 miles south of Santa Fe. The USA's Alyssa Liu wins the gold in her free skate program. And speaking of the Olympics, the U.S. wins a third Olympic gold in women's hockey, beating Canada 2-1. CBS's Kelly O'Grady in Milan.
Sudden death overtime. The U.S. women were able to pull it out. They cheered.
Can you
They
send that to me?
screamed. The
Or
crowd
can you
went
post it
wild.
yourself?
And Free Bird played.
It's what,
Free Bird,
Instagram?
of course, being the song that plays whenever a U.S. hockey team at this Olympics scores a goal.
President Trump sends a second aircraft carrier group to the Middle East region in a show of force against Iran. He says the two countries are going to get a nuclear deal, quote, one way or the other.
We do have some work to do with Iran. They can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. You can't have peace in the Middle East if they have a nuclear weapon.
Democrats announced their pick to deliver their response to President Trump's State of the Union address next week.
Governor Spanberger is Virginia's first female governor. She was elected after serving 3 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives. The governor campaigned on issues including affordability, something the president has labeled as a Democrat hoax. The president is widely expected to focus on the economy during his State of the Union address and to spell out steps he says he has taken to lower costs. Spanberger is expected to discuss how prices remain too high for average Americans. Affordability remaining out of reach. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Advocates warn that the proposed Trump administration rule limiting public housing to mostly citizens could lead to evictions.
The National Housing Law Project says it defeated this unlawful proposal during President Trump's first term and says we're ready to fight back with our allies and do it again. But Secretary Scott Turner says the days of illegal aliens, ineligibles, and fraudsters gaming the system are over.
This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks?
You like that
Find
one,
them
right?
at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or Learn more at jtv.com.
So people who are flying
News, traffic, and
Right.
station.
is okay, right?
Yep.
1059.
Already applied.
Well, you can't be illegal and you have benefits from our society. That's just messed up.
Thursday, the 19th day of
Let's see what
February.
Brandon Johnson got to say, right, about the
Thanks for
Bears.
joining us this afternoon. I'm Lisa Fielding. We have 48 degrees right
Indiana
now.
Bears,
Cloudy
huh?
skies. Warmer in Aurora where it's 56, but the warmer temperatures not going to last much longer. We've got rain and thunderstorms in the forecast and temperatures falling into the 30s.
Where is
And the
Indiana
AccuWeather
gonna
5-day forecast
Right by Gary.
coming up at
Sounds like.
4:15
Right on.
first. Indiana, one step closer to possibly being the next home of the Bears. It comes after
Gary
Illinois lawmakers
Bears.
canceled a meeting in Springfield to address a potential stadium in the northwest suburbs. WBBM's Nancy Hardy begins our Bears coverage with the latest move by Indiana lawmakers.
Did I do
Before
good
the
today in
unanimous
the middle?
vote, Indiana House Speaker Todd Houston told the Ways and Means Committee they are building a relationship with the Bears that he says is the foundation of a public-private partnership to bring the team to Hammond.
We have some work to be done to bring this all to fruition and making sure that we get everything I's dotted and T's crossed. But they're willing to make a significant investment.
He said that investment is $2 billion to build a stadium at Wolf Lake, while the state of Indiana would issue
You know where
bonds.
that's at, right?
The Bears
That's
released a
that little
statement that seems to
lake right
stop
there
short of a full
by the border
commitment,
we always go
saying
to.
the bill passing is the most meaningful step in their stadium planning so far, and that the team is committed to finishing due diligence for that site. Nancy Hardy,
The
News
little
Radio
road that was in the middle of
1059
the water there.
WBBM.
Meantime, Governor Pritzker says he's disappointed by the new suggestion that signals the Bears might be focused on Northwest Indiana. He told reporters near St. Louis today that team representatives have since told him the statement doesn't mean the Bears are definitely moving.
Indiana had asked them to say that, they're going to move forward with the negotiations in Indiana. But I have to say it's very disappointing to hear that they would put that statement out but not say anything about the advancement that's been made in the state of Illinois.
The governor says the Bears asked to pause talks on a property tax measure for their property in Arlington Heights. The governor says the next move is now up to the Bears. Well, what do you think? As the talk shifts back to a new stadium for the Bears, some fans are saying they're feeling disappointed.
Born and raised in Chicago, big-time Bear fan, and it's a disappointment that they are probably going to move to Indiana.
Park Ridge resident Phil tells us that a proposal to bring the Bears to Arlington Heights would make it a 10 to 15-minute trip for him, and he'd be more than happy to attend the home games. But while conducting an unofficial sidewalk survey in the Loop, asking Chicagoans and nearby residents how they feel about a move for their team, now coming off their first winning season in nearly a decade, the Hammond proposal is least popular.
I've been a Bears fan through and through, so this is probably like one of the most exciting seasons I've ever been through.
McKinley Park resident Joe laughs at the idea of an Indiana Bears team, but says that he would head out to Arlington Heights, even though from downtown it's about 2 hours via public transit compared to a 40-minute train ride to Hammond from the same starting point. Melrose Park resident Terry felt hopeful after making the playoffs, but says discussion about a move causes her to disengage.
Transportation is not the issue. The fact that they're trying to leave Chicago is the issue for me.
In the Loop, Brandon Eisen, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Well, young journalists put Mayor Johnson in the hot seat today. The mayor says his administration is committed to increasing opportunities for children and teenagers in the city.
The mayor's office invited students from several Chicago public high schools to a day-long program of workshops and seminars on the inner workings of city government, all culminating in a news conference where Mayor Johnson discussed highlights from his office's new Youth Impact Report.
A 10.6% increase in our youth employment for paid summer jobs.
He then fielded questions from the emerging journalists in the room.
What are some new programs and job opportunities that you and your administration are working on? How do you plan on keeping students safe from ICE agents?
So what's one decision you made as a mayor that was unpopular at the time, but you believe will create a better long-term opportunities for young people?
His answer to that question, last year's veto of that proposed snap curfew ordinance designed to shut down teen takeovers.
We can keep you all safe without violating your constitutional rights.
We're at City Hall, Jeff Buckles, News Radio 1059, WBBM.
A 54-year-old man heading to prison for 14 years after coordinating more than hundreds of shipments of meth from California to Chicago. Keith McCormick pled guilty to drug conspiracy charges after mailing more than 200 parcels containing the drugs from his home to co-conspirators in Chicago. McCormick is one of 6 defendants charged in part of that investigation. It's 4:08 now. Time for traffic and weather together on the 8. How are things moving, Neil?
Well,
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in.
coming in Eastbound, you're heavy before Tower to Skokie Boulevard. Then you pick up with another.
SubX.News on the spot reporting is now 4:07 p.m. It is February 19th, 2026. Oh, man, there's a lot of news. More international news than local news. I mean, we got our regular killings, beatings, rapes, and mayhems that happens, right? Last night was a wild night for crime. It was very dangerous down on 88th and Calumet. I don't know if you heard my live feed. It was really bad. I have it in my article. You know, I try to do every morning. Sometimes I get to it, sometimes I don't. That's when I don't sleep at night. I do the articles. But if you read the article from last night, it was really dangerous in the city. And then I kind of realized why the streets are empty at night. And I was driving home from downtown, and there was nobody out at 10 o'clock. I'm like, whoa. And then I realized everything that I was reporting, that's why, right? The city is starting to be like a ghost town. Oh, man, this guy ain't going. And if you read about it, down on 88th and Calumet, 88th and Morgan down there, they had a roving carjacking crew with guns walking in the middle of the street stealing cars. I have the radio calls. There's 4 or 5 radio calls. They had helicopters, everything down there. They got 4 of them. It was 4 out of 4 arrests, but they were walking around with guns in the middle of the street, carjacking people or trying to carjack people right in the middle of the street. So they were doing a crime. They were in a stolen car. They dumped the car, and then they were walking around looking for other cars. That's how dangerous it becomes in our city. It's extremely dangerous. That's labeled extreme danger when that was happening. I put that out there. So we need to be careful. And then there's still open-air drug markets that I see in here. So I don't know what I'm going to do today. I don't know where I'm going to go, but it's... there's a reason the Bears are leaving, and the reason is Brandon Johnson. We need to be honest with ourselves. That's the reason the Bears are leaving.
Snow showers mixed with some rain. Early temperatures holding in the
showers
30s.
tonight and snow. It's going to get cold this weekend.
Monday temperatures again in the low to mid 30s. 48 now at O'Hare. Still warm in Aurora, where it's 56, 40, Waukegan 41, Lakefront stocks end up lower today. The Dow down 300. It's 410.
We're here with Mike Kagelis, co-founder of Big City Optical. Mike,
and we need to be honest. We need to be really honest. Brandon is destroying all the legacies that are in Chicago. That might be good, that might be bad. I mean, if you want to change and you want certain stuff to happen, it might be a good thing that a lot of these legacy businesses and whatever's and leaving. But if you're losing the Chicago Bears, one of the first teams, Chicago Bears invented the NFL. Everybody knows that. It's one of the original foundational teams of NFL. If you lose that, if they decide to leave Chicago, that is a red flag to what's happening in our city, that there's a big change happening. And there's big changes happening in our city. But that's bad. And if the mayor don't do everything in his power to keep the team here, then he's a failed leader. Because you can't lose the Bears and say you have any success. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot. It's like losing the Wrigley Building. I mean, that's how big that is. The Bears are part of America. And if you lose them, that shows that you're a failure. There's nothing else to say.
Were able to enter the home and rescue the homeowners unharmed. That's when the suspect fired a gun. After hours of trying to get him to surrender, he eventually gave up. He's now in custody. Police say a small presence will remain in the area as the investigation unfolds. Chicago woman taking her message to social media after she was the victim of an ongoing trend in the Loop. She was randomly punched in the face by a stranger.
A woman who didn't want to give her name says it happened a block away from work unprovoked.
I'm no stranger to being out in public, being downtown, riding the CTA.
Police say they have a report of it happening Tuesday around 8:30 in the morning while crossing the street at Clark and Washington.
And the moment I had turned my back to him, he turned around and he hit me.
Despite the attack, she praised more than the dozen people who she said stepped in and helped.
It's so sad that this is happening to women and continues to happen. To the point where, all the women already know about this and are always on high alert.
But she said it won't stop her from enjoying her city and public transit.
I have faith in our court system. I have faith in our police. I have faith in humanity.
Sarah Herrera, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A 15-year-old boy is in custody facing felony armed robbery charges for an incident on the city's south side last month. The teen is accused of holding a 13 and 14-year-old boy at gunpoint and then taking their stuff at 69th and Normal. It happened on January 21st. Investigators said the teen was identified as one of multiple suspects in that robbery. Cook County leaders celebrating the opening of a new wellness center on the northwest side.
Caldwell Woods Wellness Center transforms the building that was built in 1962.
It served as a warming shelter where families and friends across generations took a break between rounds of sledding and tobogganing. We celebrate a new chapter in this history thanks to a nearly $2 million set of improvements in and around this building.
Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle says the center puts a special focus on nature and wellness-themed programming, such as book clubs and birding meetups. Adam Bianchi with the Forest Preserves of Cook County says the agency is also launching a new pilot partnership program that will engage community organizations.
We want Caldwell Woods Wellness Center to be a place where organizations choose to gather. We want an opportunity for nature exploration, yoga flows, book club discussions, or whatever creative idea community members may have.
Carolina Garibay, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Chicago isn't just a city, it's a stage. From the latest theater premieres and music festivals.
There you go, you got
that defines our neighborhood.
Panhandling there, right?
Inspires the world. Our newsroom brings you the stories that make Chicago one of a
Michigan Avenue Panhandling.
News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
This message is brought to you by
you got Panhandling right there. Michigan Avenue, right?
This is one organic brand worth knowing. That's because what you sleep on actually matters.
And that's an abandoned building. There's no businesses there.
That trap heat, break down over time, or off gas. Avocado does it differently. Their mattresses are handcrafted with natural materials, organic latex, organic wool, and organic cotton.
It's getting cold. I got to close my window.
Incredibly supportive and long-lasting.
So you just heard a 15-year-old, wow, a 15-year-old hold up a 14 and 16-year-old. How does a 15-year-old get a pistol? I mean, I know everybody says, oh, you can get a pistol anywhere. Like, I guess you can, but why aren't they here? How many adults? How about this question? Those of you who want something here. Here's an assignment from SubX.News for somebody who wants to do some work out there. And you would maybe have to do FOIAs of the state's attorneys, FOIAs of Cook County Jail or the juvenile system, and maybe FOIAs of Chicago Police Department. I don't know how to word it. But I'm going to put it out there on the video. How many adults have been charged for supplying guns to children? Because there's no way a 14-year-old can have a gun in Illinois. It's illegal in any state. Oh, I checked this one. No child under 21 in the United States of America can legally purchase a pistol. I don't think there's any state, even in the most gun-friendly states, you cannot just walk into a store as a under 21 and buy a pistol. No state. So how does a 14-year-old get a pistol? There you go. There you go. That's an assignment for somebody.
Sunday and Monday. A lot of clouds on Sunday, a high 32, and a high again around 32 on Monday, with intervals of clouds and sunshine. 48 degrees right now at O'Hare, 52 at Midway, 47 at Park Ridge, 41 at the lakefront, going down to 34 tonight.
Everywhere in the city.
Meteorologist Brian Thompson.
All right, Brian, thank you. 4:16. Time to find a new Mercedes-Benz at Lober Motors. LoberMercedes.com. Time for sports, sponsored by the Chicago Bar Association. And here's Adam Szynski and exciting stuff with the Olympics today.
Oh my gosh, yes. So the women's hockey team has taken gold. They took down Canada 2-1 in overtime. Megan Keller had the game winner. The third time U.S. women have won gold, the last time being in 2018. Also, another gold for the U.S. today. American figure skater Alyssa Liu won the women's individual contest, the first Olympic women's gold medal in that contest for the United States since 2002. And the Bears are making waves today as Indiana pushed a bill forward this morning, helping to entice the Bears to build their new stadium in Hammond, Indiana. Bears also released a statement celebrating the progress and by Illinois' neighbor. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker then said he was surprised by the statement, adding that the team and his team and the Bears had positive talks just yesterday. The Bulls get back to action tonight against Toronto. Josh Giddey, Trey Jones, Jalen Smith, all probable for that game. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. You can hear the game at 104.3 The Score. And the Cubs are embracing high expectations this season, according to their manager, Craig Counsell.
It's hard to get on a team like this. It's hard to get to a situation like this. You spend a lot of years in your career, as a manager, as a player, as people in Jed Hoyer's shoes of like trying to build teams like this, and you enjoy that part of it. And let's worry about where we're at and where our feet are and enjoy this.
Counsell there on 104.3 The Score. The Cubs' first spring game is tomorrow afternoon with Sports at 16 and 46 on 104.3 The Score's Adam Stasinski on News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Adam, thank you. 418 traffic now sponsored by the Chicagoland Roofing Council. And here's Neil Fiorito.
We have some calls coming in here to the WBBM Mercedes-Benz of Hoffman Estates traffic tip line at 855-780 Road. Some tipsters letting us know of a crash possibly on the Ronald Reagan Tollway westbound at Route 59. That's I-88 starting to really pile up on the westbound side of 88 past Naperville Road, again to Route 59. That's the trouble spot on the tollways. We don't have any on the expressways, anything blocking lanes at all, just traffic, big crowds of vehicles. That's about it. Your travel time on the Eden's coming in 35 to the Kennedy from Lake Cook Road. Still no delays on the way out. Kennedy outbound a half hour to Montrose, the same in the Express. 48 to drive to O'Hare, 57 in. You're 30 minutes in off the junction. The Eisenhower outbound 48 to the Mannheim exit. You're heavy leaving downtown all the way to Mannheim. Hour 6 to the Jane Addams and hour 12 in. 45 between Mannheim and downtown. On the Stevenson outbound to get the outbound side to get to the Midway Airport exit at Cicero Avenue. 34 minutes. 48 to the Tri-State. An hour 3 out toward Bolingbrook and I-355. 45 in. You're 28 in from 294. Southside Expressways. The Dan Ryan leaving downtown out to the Split. 42 minutes. Heavy from the Jane Byrne to 18th and 35th to the Split. 23 minutes to drive in. 57 going out 18 to I-80 and a slight delay on the Bishop Ford going out right around 130th Street. Traffic heavy like it normally is on the lakefront to South Lakeshore Drive to the Gold Coast and Grand Park and southbound getting through Hyde Park. Along I-80 some backups in Joliet, especially westbound from US 30 over to Larkin and slight delays on 8094 in Northwest Indiana, mainly through Gary. Traffic is sponsored by the Chicago Roofing Council. Hey, Chicago, we all need a checkup once in a while, including the roofing system on your business. If it's time to check on your roof, call the Chicagoland Roofing Council. Chicago's roof.
No. There you go. And now what do you have here? I drive over here and there's no tourists here. This is one of the busiest spots here. Everybody takes pictures here. It's where the guy fell in the water here earlier in the week. See, there's cops standing there. They ain't doing nothing. See the cops standing by the river? They're like the tourists. We don't pay the cop to be a tourist, do we? They don't walk around here. They don't do anything. They don't. So that's what we got, right? We have a failed leader. I mean, you might not like the way I talk. That was a black person panhandling on a corner, on an abandoned corner there's no stores there. That whole block is abandoned on Michigan Avenue. And usually when they're hunched over like they're usually drug addicts, because that's the hunch, right? It's how it is. You can tell these things. I've been doing this for a little while now. This is might be the 4th year I'm doing this now, this street reporting. I used to do reporting before and crime stuff. But this is there. The guy's there begging with the kid. You want to see that one there? We'll go around the block. I'll show you that one. There's a street begging with a child exploitation. So we have cops. I just showed you. The cops are sitting there by the Wendella boats over there, right? And there's people panhandling, which I guess is legal. I don't know. They won some First Amendment right to do that. But it's not legal to be out on the street corner with your child. That's illegal. That's on the state and city laws. You can't use your child to panhandle. It's clear on there, right? And I've done my job on that one. And the police don't do anything about it. The Chicago police don't do anything about it. I was here when a migrant abandoned their kid on the corner, and they didn't do anything about that. That was on the hottest day of the summer. So it is what it is. And yesterday, I reported a guy that was drunk on the CTA station. And I said, hey, man, he might need some help. He's a little over intoxicated there. And they didn't do nothing. They laughed at me, the cops. So that's where we're at.
I'll take this one.
You know, when you have a failed leader, you have failure underneath you, right? That's how that's how it works, right? And so that's why I say you have to get rid of the failed leader, right? There you go. You have child exploitation right there, right? There you go. The weather is breaking. It's 4:22 p.m. We're at Michigan and, right, Wacker, right there. And you got a lady exploiting her child, right? There you go. See that there? That's child exploitation. It's illegal in the state of Illinois. It's illegal in the city of Chicago to use your child as a prop to get money. See that there? There you go. SubX.News. That's what you got here. There's all kinds of police officers over here in the city, and they ain't doing nothing about it. See that? She's using the kid as the prop. See that? That's so dangerous to have your child out there. You see that there? That's why we have DCFS. We have all of that stuff, right? There you go. It's 4:23 p.m., February 19th, 2026. Child exploitation. We don't know what's going on. We don't even know if that kid is that person's kid. Got that? You don't know if that's that person's kid, right? And somebody will drop a 10 or a 20 and that person will be happy. And then who don't, it's usually those are trafficked people. Those are trafficked people and they're exploited by somebody higher up than them.
23 and 53 from the Bloomberg Newsroom. Tom Busby, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Got a crash on the Reagan Tollway. We're going to check in with traffic and Neil next.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on...
So there we go. The child exploitation continues. Again, that's the failed leadership. You see a black person that has a drug issue, panhandling. You see an adult with an infant, panhandling and begging. So what did I say? The mayor isn't taking care of his people. Isn't that what the governor said? My people, you come from my people, I protect you. They're not helping their people. They're supposedly for the poor, right? Aren't they? That's what they are, power to the people. They're pretending that, right? It looks like child exploitation has returned to the city of Chicago street corners. This is an illegal activity under state and city law. 4:20 p.m., February 19th, 2025, Michigan and Wacker. Right, that store is empty right there. So what did you see? See a black person panhandling and probably on drugs because they're bent over. Then you see an adult exploiting a child panhandling, right, which is illegal. And then you see a store that's abandoned right across from the Bean, right? That's the Bean's right there, by the way. That's Manilian Park. So in the main tourist area of our city, you have an abandoned store. They can't even sell knickknacks or souvenirs. You kind of get it? A failed leader. He's a failed leader. There you go. Elevators are closed. Look at that. See that there? You just seen it. I just noticed that elevator's closed. It looks all rusty. You can say I'm complaining, I'm doing this and that, but I'm just showing you what I see. I'm just out here driving. I ain't making that stuff up. You know what I mean? You just seen the elevator's busted. You have a busted elevator. You have a closed store. But here, think about this. Have any of your taxes gone down? Have you ever gone to a store and said, hey, by the way, you don't have to pay that tax for your food. Hey, by the way, we didn't raise the bag tax. We didn't double the bag tax, so you don't have to worry about it. We reduced the bag. You know, they doubled the bag tax 20 cents or something like that, I think. 20 or 25 cents, or I don't know what it is. It's a crazy amount right now. None of our taxes went down. They all went up. No one's been laid off from City Hall or the county or the state. There's been no state layoffs. You know why? Because those unions are their patronage army now. Everybody knows that, right? And then now they're pumping. This is the way they do it. They pump the money into the NGOs, right? Meaning they do those bike lane projects. They do special projects rather than spending money on people. When you give the money to the NGO that goes to an NGO, it's not for the people. At the minimum, create another department in City Hall, and then you give somebody a city job and a government job. I'm sorry, that's what I believe in, right? I'm that type of a person. I'm that left. I'd rather the government create the job. I know people don't like that, but at least it's the government. It's not no shady operation that's going to close down or be the learning center, right? Up in Minneapolis. That's what happened. That's privatization. Think about this. Think about how corrupted the left has become. The left is supposed to be for good union American jobs. That's what the left always has been. Always has been. Except they burned us with Clinton and NAFTA, right? That's where that came from. So then, you fast forward 30, 40 years, right? You have all these NGOs that are stealing our money. Instead of the government doing that work, they give it to private companies. Why? Because they can money launder it, right? And then it goes back to their politics. When you can, if you want politics, just run a government program, man. Think about Minneapolis. Think about Minnesota. All of that work could have been done by government agencies, government people with good pensions, defined benefits. You know why they didn't do it? Because the liberals are the scam artists. They're part of the scam. They're part of Epstein. They're the rapists. They're the pedophiles. They steal your pensions. They steal your bank accounts. They steal the black grandma's house down on Inglewood. All those black people lost their houses. Who stole those houses? Who stole them? Those were white liberals. That's who stole those houses. Go to Inglewood. Go look at those areas. You can't buy. They have $500,000 houses, $1 million houses in Inglewood. Everybody knows that, right? They put up the Inglewood High School over there for $100 million in the middle of nowhere. Why? Because they're going to put somebody there. They stole all those houses during the 2008 prime lending loan stuff. But that's all the theft. That's why you see, I was at North Lawndale the other night, and it was all empty, and they have a bike lane there. Why would you put a bike lane where there's no people? Why? Because you're planning to put people there, right? That's the point here. It's a big corner empty right there. You see that? It's just all planned. It's planned, and that's why you put a failed mayor in there. Why? Because you have people behind him that are making money. That's why. That's why. He's failed.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm Lisa
There you
Field.
go,
Here are the top
4:30
stories on News Radio WBBM. Governor Pritzker says he's disappointed in the Bears' apparent now focus on building a new stadium in Hammond, Indiana.
This is Andy Dane.
It's an unfortunate thing that's happening to our customers.
As Chicago police investigate more airbag thefts, a local Honda dealership looks for answers.
A Chicago area Olympian hangs up his skates for good after his final race in Milan. Plus, President Trump's Board of Peace holds its first ever meeting in Washington, D.C. Sports Bulls host the Raptors at the UC tonight, and the women taking some gold at the Olympics. In business.
Worries about a possible U.S. strike on Iran sent Wall Street lower today. The Dow down 268 points, the Nasdaq down 71, the S&P lower by 19. I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg.
Cloudy, 48 degrees. The news continues now at 4:31. Illinois Governor Pritzker says he's waiting to hear how executives from the Chicago Bears want to proceed after a new team statement on action in Indiana that left him surprised and dismayed. WBBM political editor Jeff Buckles has our top story.
More than 3 hours, my team did, of discussions with the Bears.
And the governor says State House members were prepared to take action on a bill giving the Bears the ability to lock in long-term property tax rates for a new stadium in Arlington Heights.
But they asked us not to move forward with it because they said they wanted to tweak a couple of items.
But then an Indiana House committee approved a bill that could lead to the Hoosier State building a stadium near Wolf Lake in Hammond for the Bears to rent with an option to buy. The Bears responded with a statement committing to finishing due diligence in Indiana, but saying nothing about the talks in Illinois.
The Bears post that have said, well, we didn't really mean that they're moving to Indiana, which is kind of the implication of it.
He says he's disappointed, but still thinks Illinois is the best place for the team.
We're waiting to hear from the Bears what they'd like to do next.
Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9, WBBM.
A rise in thefts that target airbags in Honda vehicles has stumped Chicago police so far, as well as a local dealership.
Broken windows and stolen airbags is kind of the common thing.
Chicago police say that was the case in Lakeview, where between Monday night and Tuesday morning, nearly 25 different Honda vehicles had their airbags stolen.
They cause a lot of damage, as far as the repairs themselves. You're talking probably $2,500 to $3,000 by the time you replace windows and harnesses and the airbag module itself.
Michael Spano, service manager at Victory Honda of Chicago, says he's seen several customers with the issue in recent weeks, and he can't quite figure out why.
There should be a huge market as far as resale, because you can't put a used airbag into a damaged car.
As far as prevention, Spano says steering wheel lock bars have been proven to be effective in some cases. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
He won the silver medal for the men's speed skating team pursuit on Tuesday. Now Chicago area native Emery Lehman has skated his final Olympic race.
We caught up with Lehman after he finished a disappointing 25th in the individual 1,500 meters.
I'm done with skating now. That was it.
He and teammates Ethan Cyprin of Glen Ellen and Casey Dawson were the favorites going into the finals, but took second to Italy.
It definitely felt different. It definitely hurt all the same, that's for damn sure. But it, that was that. You can't really change anything, and that was kind of coming out of it feeling, thankful for the journey.
That journey for Lehman has spanned 4 Olympic Games, including winning bronze in Beijing, and his team still holds the world record. Now the 29-year-old plans to hang up his skates and return home.
I got a couple shifts planned, but yeah, I'll be a resident of Chicago starting in March.
Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
More exciting Olympic news from Team USA coming up from Adam in Sports at 4:46. In Wisconsin, the state one step closer to expanding its postpartum Medicaid coverage. The assembly is slated to approve both the Medicaid expansion and another bill with bipartisan support to require insurance to cover additional cancer screenings for women with dense breast tissues. They now head to Governor Tony Evers' desk, who says he's expected to sign them next week. The Medicaid expansion will allow low-income mothers to remain on the state's program for a full year after giving birth instead of the current 2 months. President Trump says the U.S. will commit billions of dollars to the new Board of Peace.
President Trump says he's secured pledges for Gaza reconstruction and troop commitments at his Board of Peace's first meeting. The president says 9 members have pledged a combined $7 billion toward a Gaza relief package.
The Board of Peace is showing how a better future can be built, starting right here in this room.
And he says the U.S. is pledging $10 billion for the board, without specifying how the money will be used. 5 nations will contribute troops to an international stabilization force in Gaza.
We will help bring the security that Gaza needs for a future of prosperity and enduring peace.
Major General Jasper Jeffers' force calls for 12,000 police and 20,000 soldiers in Gaza. The president created the board as part of a plan to end the Gaza conflict, but the ceasefire deal there remains fragile, and some allies are skeptical of the board. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger has been chosen to deliver the official Democratic response next week to President Trump's State of the Union address.
Governor Spanberger is Virginia's first female governor. She was elected after serving 3 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives. The governor campaigned on issues including affordability, something the president has labeled as a Democrat hoax. The president is widely expected to focus on the economy during his State of the Union address and to spell out steps he says he has taken to lower costs. Spanberger is expected to discuss how prices remain too high for average Americans, with affordability remaining out of reach. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Former Prince Andrew arrested this morning and held for hours over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. It marks the first time in nearly 4 centuries that a senior British royal was placed under arrest. King Charles III took the unusual step of issuing a statement about his brother, saying the law must take its course. As for the former prince, he was released about 11 hours later. Coming up in a minute, low gas prices, traffic, and weather together. It's 4:36.
The world is always changing. Now you can.
I love Prince Charles, and we need to get one of those princes. He goes, the law must take its course. He basically threw his own brother under the bus there, and I like that. 4 centuries. In the old days, they used to chop the heads off of them people, right? Because they're all inbreds over there, right? They all chop each other's heads off. Yeah, that's... I love those British guys. I'm glad we're not underneath that king anymore, but I like that, right? There you go. What's that guy doing right here, man? What do you think that guy's doing right there? What do you think he's doing right there, that guy? What do you think he's doing? Right there, that guy. What do you think he's doing? See that doper? Man, that's a dope head right there. And he's right there. That's a doper. You got that guy? That's a dope head right there, man. It's right in front of you. Right there, man. They're back again. He's looking for the dope with the microscope, man. This is a dope spot right here, man. You see the doper? There you go. So what did we see so far? We've seen black people that are on drugs panhandling on Michigan Avenue. We've seen a woman exploiting her child on Michigan Avenue. We've seen closed stores on Michigan Avenue. And now we've seen a drug addict over here on State Street in Roosevelt looking for drugs, right? That's what we're seeing, right? That's our Chicago, right? That's what we're experiencing. Oh, and by the way, on the news, and there's the cops. All the cops are right here. I mean, they're shutting it down, but the guy's still looking for the drugs. See that there? See all the sheriffs here? That's the sheriff's station right here, right? And we hear what? That the mayor is losing the Bears, right, to Indiana. That's what we got. That's how we're starting out our broadcast today, right? There you go. Yeah, and everybody says, oh, we'll wait till the next election. You think we got enough time to let that guy be in power another year? I wouldn't know, man. It's like, think about this. Think about this. If you're in a car and you're taking a road trip, or you're in a bar, or you're at a party, any one of those situations, right? And you start to see something, right? Erratic, or out of control, or looks like it might be dangerous, and you're going bad, would you say, well, yeah, I might stay in the road trip, and I might not say anything, I'll be quiet. I'm gonna probably insult a bunch of people now and probably hurt a bunch of people's feelings, and I don't mean that, and I believe in God and I pray, but to say I pray I don't die when you're in a car and the guy's drunk and high driving, or you're at a party and they're fighting, say I pray that I'm not part of the violence while you're there and you don't do nothing either to stop it or leave, yeah, that's lame. That's lame. And then to say at the end, oh, they're rappers. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I might have a whole bunch of bad stuff that just comes out at me when I just said that, but I'm tired of, he's a rapper and let's pray about it. He's a rapper and let's pray about it. Yeah. I'm kind of getting, I'm sorry, my brother. I'm not going to name you, but now I kind of see what Martin G. Johnson was saying. He's a rapper and I'm going to pray about it. Yeah. What are you going to pray about there? That's a closed store. What are you praying about? What are you praying about? That's a closed store there. There's no business. It's closed. It's shut down. What's to pray about? Someone did that. That's the government, like the Bears, right? That's the government. The government does that. You can say it's the economy, but the government is the economy, right? They are the ones that protect the businesses, or don't protect the businesses, or don't protect. You just heard about all the airbags. The guy says right off the bat, he goes, it doesn't make sense. You can't put a used airbag in the car. So why is this happening? Where's their statements from the police? Are these gangs? Is it China? Is it Mongolia? Is it African gangs shipping this stuff to Nigeria or something? And we don't know what it is. You know, there's those international gangs do that for cars, right? Why don't we hear that? Why don't we hear it's a gang war like I just reported from the McKinley Park newspaper? Justin Curry, he does good reporting there. They reported directly to the police council. It's a gang war in my area. The SDs versus the counts. And guess what? That was the graffiti you seen on my wall the other day. That was SDs versus the counts. Exactly what Justin wrote in his paper article is what's happening in my neighborhood, and they're running around with guns. But when's the last time you heard of any time the mayor of Chicago say it's a gang problem? It's a drug problem. You haven't heard him say that once. Why? Because he doesn't criminalize criminals. Because he uses criminals to get elected. They were paying criminals to get elected when he ran for office. They didn't even have bank accounts. They had to cash the check. That was Michael Baldwin at the Chicago Teachers Union. When he ran for commissioner, the people he was paying to help him with his campaign didn't have bank accounts, so they had to cash the check. The CPA from the Teachers Union quit. He says, I'm not going to jail, and he quit. That's Michael Baldwin, man. This stuff goes back years now. That's where we're at. I wrote about all of this years and years ago before Brandon got elected. That's why they fired me from the union. They said I was a bad guy. I didn't listen to him. They said I didn't tell them the truth. Like, whatever, man. I don't need to tell you what I'm doing, right? They were asking me about my investigation about something. And so the CPA quit. He's like, I'm not going to prison. He's a white dude, and he didn't want to go to prison. Yeah, you guys don't know about that? Look him up, Michael Baldwin. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff written about that kind of stuff. The feds ain't, oh man, see how that guy, well, whatever. It is what it is. But that's where we're at, right? That's where we're at in our city, right? You see, right? It's 4:43 p.m. Right? There ain't nobody here, right? See that? Look, you're in the middle of downtown Chicago. I'll sit right here. You can count the cars if you want. You're in the middle of downtown Chicago right now. That used to be Woolworths right there. It was Woolworths at one time, right? I know. I used to eat down there in the basement there. That was a good store. I like Woolworths. Woolworths cafeteria and Zare's cafeterias weren't too bad.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents.
Everybody's neighborhood. There you go. They put up crappy signs. Look at that. Right in front of the abandoned store. You see that? With a homeless guy, drug addict. Look at that guy right there.
Your business?
See that guy right there walking? He's all jacked up, laughing.
Odoo.
See that?
One simple,
there you go.
Connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. So you can focus on growing, not juggling.
There you go. Close down downtown, right?
Odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Top trending stories on WBBMNewsRadio.com.
A lot of us have been playing armchair detectives in the case of Nancy Guthrie. Everyone's still talking about her mysterious disappearance. And running a DNA found in a glove near her home through the FBI's database came up empty. So investigators are now using those Ancestry DNA websites, hoping to find a suspect. There's word they've uploaded the profile from the crime scene, but
there you go. It's all empty. See that?
Any matches to pop up, and even then, it could just be a relative. And there's science that could, once and for all, end big-time arguments about where to set that thermostat. A new study out of Australia says that not only should your bedroom be on the cooler side, but making it hot could be dangerous. They found that the hotter your bedroom is, the harder your heart has to work to circulate blood to cool your skin. As far as where you should set the temperature, over 75 degrees puts unnecessary stress on your heart. They suggest keeping 72 and cooler, especially for older folks. So you can tell your spouses so you don't have to fight anymore. All right, 4:46. Time for sports now, and here's Adam Szynski.
Well, the Bears made a splash today as Indiana pushed a bill forward that they hope will entice the team to build their new stadium in Hammond. The Bears released a statement celebrating the progress by Indiana, and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says he was surprised by that statement, adding the state had positive talks with the Bears just yesterday. U.S. women's hockey team has won gold at the Olympics for a third time. They took down Canada 2-1 in overtime today. It was Megan Keller who knocked in the game winner. Last time the U.S. women won gold was 2018. They also won in 1998. Another gold for the U.S. today was American figure skater Alyssa Liu, who won the women's individual contest. That's the first Olympic women's gold medal for the U.S. since 2002. The Bulls get back to action tonight against Toronto. WBBM's Rick Gregg has more.
The trade deadline has passed, the All-Star break has come and gone, and now guard Josh Giddey leads the on-court effort to pick up the pieces.
This is the team now. For the last 27 games, this is what we've got. So
we got to go to war with each other. And when the summer comes, front office will make decisions that they think are right for this team and moving forward. But, us as players, our job is to go out there, play, win. And whoever our teammates are, be the best we can, and the rest will take care of itself.
The Bulls have lost 6 in a row. Giddy has missed them all with a hamstring problem, but expects to return tonight. Covering the Bulls, Rick Gregg, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Cubs manager Craig Counsell says his team is embracing high expectations for the 2026 season, but they won't get caught looking at it.
So it's 4:47, the height of rush hour, right?
Length of the season and the number of games you play,
it's rush hour right now. 4:47 p.m. February 19th.
Is pretty small. If you just wouldn't
2026. It's Thursday. See that? I just did a circle in the middle of downtown. You see that there? See that, right? This whole block is abandoned. This whole block is empty here.
48 traffic now. Here's Neil.
All right, guys, more stop and let's go on most of the roadways. Sorry to say, the Dan Ryan Expressway really jamming up inbound now from Merge to before 87th Street.
That's what you see. That's what happens when we wait for elections. That's why you can't wait for an election. You gotta get rid of the guy before then, right? Get him in jail or something. You can't afford to have these guys running around with 30 to. Imagine he has a $30 billion, $40 billion budget under him, and he can't run the city. Why? Because he's a failed person. That's why they put him in. That's why they put that guy in there, because he's a failure. Look at that. Look at that nice place here. Look at that. It's closed. See that there? There you go. I'll keep showing you this. If you don't want to watch it, then don't watch my show, right? That's it. If you don't want reality, that's a closed store there right across the street. We're at State and Monroe. If you don't want reality, then don't watch my show. Got that? There's a person beaten in front of that store 3 years ago, right on TV. Then the lady just got beaten here in downtown, pulled out her tongue or something, ripped her tongue out. The reporter who says we need social justice, yeah, okay, I don't know. I think we might need some prison time, right? There you go, right? You got homeless guys right there. There's a homeless guy laying right there on the sidewalk. Don't you see that? Right there. There you go. He's going to make a circle, a U-turn, right? Everybody does U-turns downtown, right? See that? See that crash? They almost got crashed. It's wild. Let me show you this, man. That guy's sleeping right there, man. He's sleeping right on your sidewalk, right there. See that there? That's what you got. That's what you got. I don't know what else to say. It's right in front of you. This is my city. I live here. I grew up here. I love downtown. There's a white doper right there, man, looking for drugs right there. There's a lot of white drug addicts running around too. Oh yeah, and by the way, I put stuff on Twitter, and you can look us up on Twitter, SubX.News. There's stuff that I can't put. There's the TAC team right there, right? There's stuff that I put on Twitter that I can't put on Facebook, right? I want to go somewhere today, so. Ain't nothing going on here, right? We're gonna go check out something today. How about that? I haven't been to a place in a little while, so we're gonna go check it out. The old chocolate factory. How about that today? That's what we're gonna do. That's just some radio calls too, right?
Station is 09637. Platform is 09639.
There's another guy panhandling right there, right? And that's a closed business. That's a closed business, and they're panhandling, right? You see him right there? Closed business panhandling. That's it. You can take what you want from my videos and what I say. Look, what you see and what I say are two things. Those are facts. It's what I say and what you see in the video. What you believe and what you take away from it is your issue. It's like I told you about Rapper right there. That McDonald's is closed right there. That used to be a McDonald's. I love that McDonald's. That was right across. Imagine that McDonald's is right across from the main courthouse in our city, right there. The Daily Center. They can't even have McDonald's there, right? So you can take it for what you want. That's your right.
Numbers over here, Roosevelt, red and green. Hold 91 Adam here.
But it's also my right to say what I want. But what you see is what you see. Those are facts. See, that's why I do this, and I learned this a long time ago from my mentor, George Schmidt. Pictures and videos, because what you write can be questions, but if you have the pictures and the videos, it is what it is. You can perceive and look at things whatever way you want to, right? Half full, half empty. That's the same glass of water or cup of milk, whatever you want to call it. But in the end, it is a fact, and that's what it is. There's nothing you can do to take it away. So what you're seeing are facts, right? This is what's called primary source reporting. It's street reporting and primary source reporting. It's two things. It's two. We're street reporting from the street, unedited, and you see what we do. And it's also primary source, meaning you're seeing exactly what I'm seeing. I'm not editing this. I'm not manipulating the thing. When I do my next day, I usually download and upload, but I usually don't manipulate the videos either there. Sometimes I take sections out of the live feed because it's a little better than my other videos, but you can see it where it's cut from. I don't manipulate it. I don't put text in there, because once you start putting text editing, then now you're manipulating the video, right? I don't do that because I learned that. Now if I make a show and I do something else, then I can do it. But I have all my live videos to back up what I see, right? This is a documentation of my reporting, right? That train was empty up there. There was nobody on that train. That train car was empty up there. There you go, right? All etched up, right? So that's how I report, right? And that's what you get. And there's nothing else I can say. Again, I'm going to repeat one more time. And if this gets to wherever it gets to, then that's okay. But I'm trying to send a message. You can't keep saying they're rappers and you're going to pray for them. Not when they got guns and they're 15 years old. They're criminal. They're criminals. And you need to start asking who's getting those young black men those guns. If it's white people, if it's the cartels, or who's getting those young black men those guns, we should be hearing there's an investigation, and we're not. See, that's the problem here. You got black young men that are dying on the streets. They got drugs and guns, and no one's doing nothing about it. And you have a black mayor. You have a black county board president. You got some billionaire that's, I don't know what's his thing. I don't know JB Pritzker. I don't get that guy. He pretends he's a worker. He's never worked in his life. It's weird. It's kind of like Trump. He pretends to be a worker, but he's not a worker, right? What he's got is that he builds and does stuff, right? He does deals. People see that. He can create a TV show. He creates a high rise. He runs a business. People understand that. He goes bankrupt and rip. I didn't vote for Trump that first time because he ripped off a lot of workers, especially in his casino deal over there in Atlantic City. He went bankrupt and he stiffed a lot of small businesses. That's why I didn't vote for him that first time. I didn't. I forget who I voted for that first time. It might have been a Green Party person or something. I don't think I voted, or maybe I voted for Bernie. Is that when Bernie ran that first time? Did Bernie run that first time? The first time Trump ran, I didn't vote for him. I didn't. I don't know who ran against him. Was it Hillary? I didn't vote for Hillary either. Hillary was supported by my union, I believe. That's when he ran. No, he won that one. And then he lost the next one to Biden, right? I didn't vote for him that time either. I didn't vote for him the only time I voted for him when he was running with Kamala Harris, because again, I thought he ripped off the workers, and I still believe he did. But the last time I voted for him, I said, you know what? I think we need a dude that at least knows a little bit about business, because we might be going into a bad economic time right now. Right? There you go. There's some people walking here. These are all suburbanites going home. But there ain't that many of them. There used to be a lot more crowded here. See that there? They're all going home, these people. Right there. Ain't that many people out there, is there? It's 4:58. Anybody who's worked in downtown knows it's empty. A little bit of traffic, but this is not. It's not downtown stuff. That's for sure. So I just needed to get that out there. I'm trying to be nicer and not swear and be mean in order, but I want to put out my thinking process, right? Because that's what I do, right? I don't try to hide anything from people. I try to tell you who I am, what I do, why I do it, right? And if you like it or you don't, hear these bump outs, right? Look at those bump outs there. They spend all that money on those, right? We're going to go over here to the chocolate factory and see what's going on. We were going to do a whole documentary in all these areas, but then that's that one time we did where they said they were going to shoot me, so I haven't gone over there in a while. We're going to go check a few things out over here. We haven't been in this section of town for a little bit. Yeah, more of the bloodier things, the criminal things, and the gang things. You'll see them on my Twitter page, because I can't really put those on Facebook. I don't want to get banned, right? Let's listen to 5 o'clock news.
S&P lower by 19. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Some tense moments in Lake City, Minnesota this afternoon as a group at a watch party in Taylor Heisey's hometown watched her and the rest of the U.S. Olympic women's hockey team win the gold over Canada 2-1 in overtime. Following that win in Milan, USA's Alyssa Liu won her free skate program, the first U.S. women's figure skating gold in 24 years. Former Prince Andrew is released from custody nearly 12 hours after the arrest of King Charles' disgraced younger brother on suspicion of misconduct in public office. More from CBS's Vicky Barker in London.
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been released, quote, under investigation, a sign that police here continue to investigate emails in the Jeffrey Epstein files that appear to show Andrew, then a royal trade envoy, sharing confidential information with the convicted pedophile. At least 9 British police forces have also launched probes based on flight logs found in the Epstein files. Among other things, they're looking into whether victims were trafficked through UK airports.
Wow.
That may come back to haunt Andrew, too. Vicky Barker, CBS News.
That's bad.
Andrew has previously denied any wrongdoing in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. Dangerous weather conditions delay recovery of 8 people killed in a California avalanche. CBS's Matt Gutman.
Right now, the sheriff says they are sitting tight, waiting to go back up there until the weather clears and the avalanche threat clears. Maybe that could be as soon as tomorrow.
The rewards being offered for the arrest of the person or people responsible for the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie is now just over $200,000. CBS's Andres Gutierrez in Tucson also reports that the FBI has reached out to Mexican authorities.
The Pima County Sheriff has said that there is no indication at this point that Nancy was taken into Mexico. The prosecutor's office in the Mexican state of Sonora did issue a statement today that read, quote, "There is no request to coordinate or cooperate for the search of a missing citizen in the United States."
The 84-year-old has been missing since the early morning hours of February 1st. NASA has released a report on the problems with the 2024 Starliner crewed flight test that ended up with 2 astronauts stranded on the International Space Station for nearly 9 months.
NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman stresses that the crew of the Boeing Starliner flight returned safely, but the path did not reflect the agency at its best.
Failure to learn invites failure again and suggests that in human spaceflight, failure is an option. It is not.
Isaacman adds that NASA declared the Type A mishap and is ensuring leadership accountability.
But we are not going to fly again, crew or uncrewed, until it's ready.
That's CBS's Allison Keyes reporting. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here? How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
Yeah, I wouldn't ride with a kid in traffic like that. That's too dangerous.
Traffic and weather station.
That little kid died once. Was ran over by a truck, remember?
Newsradio.com.
5:03, Thursday, the 19th day of February. Good afternoon.
Check the chocolate
Thanks
factory
for joining
out.
us and tuning in today. I'm Lisa Fielding. We have 44 degrees now at O'Hare. Still warm in Aurora and in Joliet. Mid-50s right now, but temperatures changing, falling into the weekend. More February-like. We could get some showers and thunderstorms tonight. We're going to check in with AccuWeather coming up at 5:15.
A little more bicyclists
But first,
out
our
here.
top story, the ongoing saga about where the Bears will build their new stadium after 2030. Pressure may be back on Illinois lawmakers as their counterparts in Indiana are moving ahead with plans to bring the Chicago Bears to Hammond. WBBM's Nancy Hardy tells us a committee in Indianapolis approved a bill today that creates a stadium authority.
Indiana House Speaker Todd Houston told committee members the stadium
Remember, they used to be drug addicts down here in the tents, right? This is where they said I was going to get shot.
Anything away from Illinois or Chicago. We're partners in the fact that, we need a strong Illinois, we need a strong Chicago, particularly in this region. But this is about opportunity.
Mayor Thomas McDermott Jr. says that opportunity is once in a generation.
Hammond's ready to partner with the Chicago Bears. Basically, Hammond will do whatever it takes to help make this project a success.
Speaker Houston says the Bears have agreed to pay $2 billion toward construction. The team says in a statement it's committed to finishing reviews of the site in Hammond, and passing the bill is the most meaningful step forward in its stadium planning so far. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Well, now Illinois Governor Pritzker says he is surprised and dismayed by those statements about the progress toward a potential new stadium in Indiana. The governor told reporters near St. Louis today that his staff spent 3 hours in talks with the Bears this week, and that the team then asked for a pause in negotiations over a property tax measure they requested.
We have made a lot of advancement in that conversation with them. So, again, I'm surprised, dismayed, very disappointed at what I saw in the statement.
And he says the Bears have since told him that their statement does not mean, though, that they've committed to moving to Indiana. Now at Arlington Heights, where police say a suspect is in custody after an incident inside a home. It started this morning at 7:30 when an armed burglar entered their residence, but the homeowners were inside. They were able to lock themselves in the bedroom, and they called police. Then police were able to enter the home and rescue the homeowners unharmed, but that's when the suspect fired a gun inside and held himself in the home. Investigators still have the area secured. We're waiting to hear more about that arrest. There's a new way for travelers at a local airport to unwind before their flight.
Kicking your feet up, sipping a cold beer, and playing Madden, Fortnite, or Call of Duty is now possible at Midway Airport. The Asian leaders have announced the launch of Gameway, the city's first ever airport video gaming lounge.
There you go. Here, let me show you this. What time is it? 5:06 p.m. the 19th, right? 5:06 p.m. the 19th of February 2026. This is the abandoned Bloomer Chocolate Factory. It's over there. That's the New Bally's Casino over there. And this used to be a drug haven tent camp here, right? There was migrants here. There's all kinds of bad stuff happening here. what's strange is this is what you got to think about. Why did they leave all these drug addicts and criminals hanging around here? In fact, here I got threatened to be shot by somebody. I have a police report about it. No one from the police department has ever called me about my police report. They tried to kill me. I was out here interviewing the homeless guys and talking to them about what's going on here. Why didn't the city do this before? Why did they let all the crime happen here? See that there? Why did they let all the crime happen here? For how long did they let the crime and the drugs happen here till they fixed it? Oh, maybe it's because the casino said that's enough. We don't want that here no more. Yeah. See how that works? We have a corrupt, criminal mayor that needs to be removed because you know why? He let all these people get harmed by drugs and criminality here. And then he moved it out really fast. So it shows you, right? You see that another sign there? It shows you that the city can do whatever it wants. So when there's drugs and crime in an area, they allow it to happen. One more time, let me show you this. You're live. The city did that. See that there? So that means the city allowed the crime to happen here. That's what that means. So they're guilty and they should be charged and prosecuted like Prince Andrew. There you go. That's the proof that the city is part of the criminality. Got that? That's the casino right in front of you, right?
25 inbound, 38
That's the
outbound.
casino right in front of you.
Time on the Edens coming in 38 minutes from Lake Cook to the junction. Go to Lay's outbound, just 15 to Lake Cook Road. On the Kennedy out, a half hour.
The city is the criminal because they allowed the criminality over here at the Bloomer Chocolate Factory.
A 50-minute drive to the airport.
When the casino said clean it up, they cleaned it up.
27 off the junction. Heavy past the River Road toll all the way into Ogden. On the Eisenhower outbound, you're at 42 to Manheim. An hour drive awaits to the Jane Addams Tollway. Inbound from I-90 to downtown, an hour 13, 43 in from Manheim. I-55 to Stevenson outbound, getting to Cicero Avenue, 34, 47 at the Tri-State. An hour drive to 355, 53 to make it in, and 35 between the Tri-State and the Lakefront. We mentioned the Dan Ryan crash gone inbound before 87th. Delays on I-57, 18 out, 15 in. The Bishop Ford has delays, too, on both sides. A 20-minute ride coming in from 8094 to the Dan Ryan, 16 on the way out. Just a 3-minute delay. DuSable Lakeshore Drive backed up northbound from Roosevelt to Chicago Avenue and southbound from Michigan to Chicago. Delays continue through Graham Park and into Hyde Park. Your next report from the Metro Traffic Center, 518 News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Clouds rolling in, showers later on with a high of 58, rain and thunderstorms early tonight.
You guys just seen that, right?
The 30s.
Am I making this up? You guys remember me? How many of you seen me doing my videos from here? Prosecutions. I got a guy he was shooting up right on live on my video once. Then I got threatened to be shot out here. There. Don't you remember how many videos did I shoot? I used to come here every day, don't you remember? And that's why I said I want to come here and check this place out. See that? It's cleaned up. How come it's cleaned up? How come this is cleaned up? How come it's cleaned up? How come it was allowed to be like that for 3 years? If the city could have cleaned it up now, why didn't they clean it up before? That's the point. It's what I showed you yesterday in downtown in Michigan Avenue, and today you just seen. The city allows the crime. The city is the criminal. The city needs to be prosecuted. And the person running the city is who? The mayor. The mayor needs to be prosecuted. Just like Prince Andrew, the sex trafficker, pedophile, Brandon Johnson needs to be prosecuted for allowing drugs and crime in our neighborhoods. And I tell you this, and I'm going to push it this far. He needs to be prosecuted because they're allowing guns in the black kids' hands. He's not doing anything about it. Go look it up. I told you guys, go look up how many cases of prosecutions of people trafficking guns to the kids in our city. None. Here's another one. I'm going to stay here because this one's getting to me because I was threatened over here to be shot. I got the police report on my wall. Not one fucking cop. Here, I'm going to say this. Not one fucking Chicago Police Department fucking cop has called me about being threatened to be shot. Not one motherfucker called me. Not one. Not one. There you go. It's empty now. You see that? They were doing drugs. They were doing crime. They were doing prostitution. They were doing all kinds of stuff here. All of a sudden, it's clean. Why wasn't it clean before? Why? Because they allowed it to happen. Why don't the cop call me about getting threatened? You know why? Because it's part of the migrants. The migrants try to have me shot here. That's who called the guy to shoot me. Right here. It happened here. No cop is calling me. Not one. Zero. None. Now I'm going to say this because this is what I talked about when I'm a little upset. Think about this. And you have one assignment. Check how many adults have been prosecuted for putting guns in black children's hands. That's the one assignment, right? For somebody who knows how to do that. Let's back up a little bit, right? So you can see the nice train up there, right? So I don't get so upset. There you go. It's empty here, right? There used to be drugs and prostitutes here. Here's another assignment. So one assignment is to check how many adults have been prosecuted for giving guns to black children in Chicago. That's the one assignment. Forget the drugs. The drugs are drugs. But let's look at guns, because we just heard today there was a 15-year-old who robbed a 14 and a 16-year-old. So we need to get to that point, right? How are these kids getting these guns? So one assignment is that, right? Look into how do black children get guns in Chicago. I don't want to hear this and this. No, look at how many have been prosecuted. Here's the two more things. Second, look for me, and I'm looking, how many drug distribution arrests and investigations are happening in Chicago. There was one by the Cook County, that down by the dope spot by Jewel, but that was Cook County cops. You see me posting these pictures of other cities where they have the dogs, they have the guns, they have the drugs. Have you ever seen one of those from the Chicago Police Department? Have you ever seen a drug bust by the Chicago Police Department? Think about it. Look in your mind. Look on the videos. Look on the newspapers. Look on the videos. Look anywhere. You have never seen, that I remember, the Chicago Police, they have a little baggie here and there. I think I seen one in last January. But you never see, oh, Chicago police have arrested so-and-so for drug dealing and drug trafficking. You don't see that ever. Never. Why? Because you're looking at it right there. The police allowed the drug dealing to happen here. There's a place I was yesterday. They were drug dealing right in front of me. Right in front of me. Two places. So two things so far. Look how many adults have been arrested for giving young black men guns. Secondly, look how many drug gangs have been arrested or broken up by the Chicago police, but not by the feds, not by the county, by the Chicago police. Why aren't we hearing about that? Every other city shows they arrest people for the drugs. Once in a while we show you the pictures of guns, but there ain't no real drug arrests. In Chicago, there is none. Because why? They're allowing it. Just like the CTA Red Line, they allow crime on the CTA. There's drug dealing on the trains. None of this is being done in Chicago. So here's the thing, and I love you cops, but you ain't doing your jobs, man. And I've been saying this for a long time now. You need to stop following illegal orders, just like they did with the military. Yeah, Chicago police, here's some word of advice from SubX.News. Do not follow illegal orders. If they tell you not to arrest a migrant, if they tell you to look away from drug dealing, if they tell you don't look into why that black kid had a gun, you need to stop following those orders. You need to start doing your own job. Go investigate that. If you guys listen to the radio calls, and we're going to listen to it a little bit here, you have to get supervisor's approval to arrest somebody. You have to have supervisor's approval to even write the report up. Everybody knows that. There's more civilians working in Chicago Police Department than there is beat patrol cops. Why? Because you have to get all these approvals to do anything. They don't. Yesterday, when you heard that chase, there's two chases yesterday with tracking, one in Drexel and one down on Calumet. They did not stop those criminal cars. Those criminal cars kept driving. You cannot stop a car in Chicago. It has to stop. And then they go in, the ones on Drexel, those three guys that ran into a house, Well, how are you going to prosecute them? There's no evidence anymore. They're in the house. They can change their clothes, take showers. Look into that. Those are your assignments. Listen to some radio calls.
Frequency mode. 3215. 3215. Launch at 1628 West Mars. That is 09916.
Now I'm going to show you something else over here. Ready? There's a bunch of workers leaving, right? Man. Why is my window all dirty here, right? Is that from the wildfires? Now I'm going to show you something here, right? I'm going to show you where these drug addicts are here. They're right over here, right down the street. I'll show you.
Davis.
5410 Davis.
6410 David. This shows taking a citizen to the 1st District, 441 on the miles from 5728 South Sawyer.
Well, they cleaned this up. There was a whole bunch of drug addicts here. They cleaned it up.
09732, and headed in at 1701.
They cleaned that whole area up, it looks like, huh?
Couldn't copy. Try it again.
7386 Charlie.
7386 Charlie.
The PO, sorry, at 67th and Western slowed down, where police on the scene slowed down.
67th and Western, what happened? Sunham, let's go back. Sunham on 67th and Western.
Any transit units available, check the blue line, Damon stop, 1588 North Damon. See if there's a person at street level, claims the CTA employee hit him.
01 Sam, I'm checking the cameras now there.
Alright, 7301 Sam looking at the video, and then we have a transit supervisor. Do we have anybody out on the line? Send us over to the zone.
What did I just say? They can't arrest nobody without a supervisor. What is that kind of crap? You just heard it. You just heard it. You want to hear that one more time? Listen one more time. CTA violence. They can't do nothing about it. Listen. Listen. Listen up.
7301 Sam.
Davis squad at 1649 hours, blue line Damon, 2 male Hispanics, one dressed in all black with a black backpack, the second, and a black hoodie, blue jeans with black sneakers. They attempted to ferry bait. The CTA attendant stopped them. They began punching him up the base and body. He held his own for a while, and then they fled. Street level 1 still outside, male Hispanic, all black.
All right, 10-4. The zone actually has several calls on this. They have CTA reporting an assault just occurred for 2 subjects who threatened a CTA employee, 2 male Hispanics.
You just heard it.
Description's the same.
Units in 8th District.
We're going to get that.
This is the PO. We got a couple of tickets coming in. 6701 Southwestern. 5813 requests another car. They're about to start fighting over there. This is the 8th District Zone 6.
7388 Charlie.
That's the casino, by the way, everybody.
7388 Charlie.
He shows on the mission at 3050 red light.
That's the casino right there.
The quality of life or something else?
Tugboat just on the platform, yeah.
Let me get that radio call.
All right, that's 09708.
7301 Sam. 2370 squad, send that to the zone. They'll get there quicker.
All right, 7301 Sam, looking at the video, and then we have a transit supervisor. Do we have anybody out on the line? Send this over. And for the transit units, have a call of a 7394 boy. And for the transit units, have a call of a battery just occurred at the Damon Blue Line, 1588 North Damon, street level. Nelson states a CTA employee grabbed him by the shirt and started hitting him. Got nothing further at this time. EMS not responding. 1588 North Damon. He's at street level in a black sweater and jeans. Do we have any transit units riding the line out at the North Avenue and Damon stop? Any transit units available? Check the Blue Line Damon stop, 1588 North Damon. See if there's a person at street level. Claims the CTA employee hit him.
01 Sam, I'm checking the cameras now there.
Alright, 7301 Sam, looking at the video, and then we have a transit supervisor. Do we have anybody out on the line? Send this over to the zone.
2370 squad, send that to the zone. They'll get there quicker.
10-4.
7301 Sam.
7301 Sam.
Hey, the squad at 1649 hours, Blue Line Damon, 2 male Hispanics, one dressed in all black with a black backpack, the second, and a black hoodie, blue jeans with black sneakers. They attempted to bury evade. The CTA attendant stopped them. They began punching him up the face and body. He held his own for a while, and then they fled street level. One still outside, male Hispanic, all black.
Alright, 10-4. The zone actually has several calls on this. They have CTA reporting an assault just occurred for 2 subjects who threatened the CTA employee, 2 male Hispanics. Description's the same.
Units in 8th District and Citywide, getting to assist the PO. I got a couple tickets coming in. 6701 Southwestern, 5813 requests another car. They're about to start fighting over there. This is the 8th District, Zone 6.
7388 Charlie.
7388 Charlie.
He shows on a mission at 3050 red light.
Is that quality of life or something else?
10-4 just on the platform here.
CTA employee attacked by 2 Hispanics. Blue Line Damon.
7391 David.
7391 David.
Will you have that number for an in-house Roosevelt Green?
Your number is 09714. 7383 Adam.
Sir, we're clear from our mission, and can you give us some for a premise check at 15
Okay, you're at 95th?
4.
Alright, that number is 09723.
7388 Adam.
7388 Charlie. 7301 Sam.
7301 Sam.
Hey, the squad at 1649 hours, Blue Line Damon, 2 male Hispanics, one dressed in all black with a black backpack, the second. And
Zone actually has several calls on this. They have CTA reporting an assault just occurred for 2 subjects who threatened
We heard that.
Zone 6.
7388 Charlie. Bye.
Is that quality of life or something else?
10-4 just on the platform. 7388. We're clear from our mission, and can you give us
Alright, 7301 Sam, looking at the video, and then any transit units available, check the Blue Line Damon stop, 1588 North.
We heard that one.
And for the transit units, have a call of a battery just occurred at the Damon Blue Line, 1588 North.
7301 Sam.
I'm looking for another call, 69th Street, right?
For a while, and then they fled.
This occurred for two subjects who threatened to see 13 request another car. District Zone 6.
7388 Charlie.
Is that quality of life or something else?
It's a lot of stuff happening.
7391 Davis. Can we get that number for an 8-hour road? 73.
Adam.
Sir, we're clear for our mission.
Okay, you're at 95th.
Adam, can I get the number for SIP?
That is going to be
6410 David. 410 David. Just show us taking us.
All right, 10-4. Got you on event 09732.
7386
Couldn't copy. Try it again.
7386 Charlie.
7386 Charlie. The PO, sorry, at 67th and Western slowed down, where police on the scene slowed down.
Can we get another number for elevated train?
Police need assistance, 67th and Western.
That number is 09742.
Great.
7383 boy. That is 09747.
7370.
7370.
Sir, what unit was that over at 35th in the red, and what kind of event number did they get to?
That was 7388 Charlie. I had them on quality of life.
Quality of life. You don't get arrested. That's what that means.
7391 David.
Can I get another number for a street stop, Roosevelt Green?
That is 09759.
That's the casino there.
7391 Adam.
7391 Adam.
There you go. That's a drug addict there. I know that guy. I talked to him before.
Stop.
This business started up here. This is some electric car business here. This is the Salvation Army that's closed down, right?
7387 Charlie.
There you go, right?
Number, please.
This is a Salvation Army. It's all shut down. Instead of putting homeless people in here, they shut it down, right? There you go.
In citywide and 8 district, there's shots fired, 1 ticket so far. 8016 South Whipple. That's 8016 Whipple. Anonymous says 5 shots heard. Sounded like it came from 81st.
They're slowly doing this over here. This used to be a Salvation Army. Here, I'll show you this.
7370.
That was a loading dock there. They filled it in, huh?
This is actually a trip mission, not a quality of life mission. Can I
See
get
that?
a number for that?
When you're rich, you can do anything. So that was a loading dock for the Salvation Army. That was a rehab place for drug addicts and homeless people. That whole building here. That was a Salvation Army there. They filled in the loading dock. You see how rich people can do it? That's why they got rid of those people at the chocolate factory.
Belmont to Brown line at 945 West Belmont. The anonymous caller said Bill White was holding a small knife and he was becoming irate. He was wearing a dark green jacket and a gray hoodie, and he's aboard car number 3358 headed toward Kimball. The person knifed.
Look at those gates they put up. Once the gentrification starts, they put up gates. See that there?
7373.
Once again, person with the knife at 945 West Belmont. This is an anonymous call. Male white, small knife in hand, being irate aboard.
Let's listen to the local news, right? Let's see if I can get the radio on. 5:30 is always the local news.
Finding a new site for their stadium, and that momentum apparently is moving fast toward northwest Indiana. WBBM's Nancy Hardy tells us committee members in Indianapolis actually approved a plan to set up an authority to build a stadium in Hammond.
The Bears call it the most meaningful step in their stadium planning so far. An Indiana committee passed a bill to create an authority to issue bonds, construct, and lease a stadium in Hammond to the Bears. Indiana House Speaker Todd Houston says the team has committed to spending $2 billion.
We've had
February 19th,
excellent conversations with the Chicago Bears, and we're forging a relationship that will be the foundation with public-private partnership, lean to construction, a world-class stadium.
He and others were beaming at the idea of a second NFL team calling Indiana home.
I think we found a great partner. And now the Chicago Bears.
Super security
just like we have a tremendous partner in the Indianapolis Colts.
The Bears shared a commitment to finishing necessary reviews of the site near Wolf Lake, but did not go in.
This is all gentrification. That's what happens. You want to see what happens when you have gentrification in the casino? That's the casino right there. This was abandoned for many years, and people went in and out of that building there. It wasn't until this guy comes in here with an electric car service place, right, that they really put the security here, right? See that there? This was an abandoned place for a long time. This is an abandoned Salvation Army rehab joint here. That was a loading dock. They filled it in with gravel and cement. See that there? They eliminated that. But the main thing here is if you want to look, I got lots of, you see the graffiti behind the grates, right? There you go. That's what happens when you have people who have money and they say, take care of it. They take care of it. But for how come for many years they allowed the drugs and the crime to happen here? The chocolate factories over there where they used to have drug dealing and crimes here, right? And there you go. SubX.News. Remember, that was a rehab joint at one time there for alcoholics and drug addicts. But yet it's closed now. Why aren't we using that for them? Well, because we got the casino back there. That's why. All right? Everybody gets that one, right?
Impact report, which notes increases in spending on jobs and activity programs targeted to young people.
Youth-focused budgeting decisions and programs are really making a difference.
Then the emerging journalists in the room from several Chicago high schools took the floor.
Are you aware of the teen takeover crisis?
What steps are being taken to reduce gun violence and create a positive opportunity for teens who might not be interested in some of the programs that exist?
What is your long-term vision for youth in Chicago over the next year?
I'll just tell it to you flat. I want you to raise your family here.
We're at City Hall. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.
He didn't answer her question, right?
For now, the Trump administration has given ICE officers broader powers to detain lawful refugees. A U.S. government memo tells ICE to detain refugees who have not yet gotten a green card a year after their arrival. Camila Montoya Gomez explains.
The administration is arguing that they have to do this to re-examine the cases of refugees to identify potential cases of refugees engaging in fraud to get their refugee status, or refugees who are now potential risks or threats to national security or public safety because, for example, they have ties to terrorism or they have serious criminal histories. That is the stated justification that they need to re-examine these cases to protect public safety and national security.
The memo says 3 refugees can return to government custody voluntarily at an immigration office, but if they don't, the memo says ICE must find, arrest, and detain them. A big banner featuring President Trump's face now hanging outside the Department of Justice's headquarters.
There are others, but this one is jarring on the Justice Department headquarters. It amounts to a striking symbol of how the department's traditional independence from White House control has eroded, and a physical show of the president exerting power over the department that once investigated him. The banner's display comes 8 days after Attorney General Pam Bondi launched into a full-throated defense of the president before a House panel.
You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
A new study shows that mid-sized U.S. companies pay far more in Trump administration tariffs than larger companies, and the costs hit close to home. The J.P. Morgan Chase Institute finds the tariff payments for these companies tripled over the past year. The report says the businesses may have to raise prices, cut hiring, or accept lower profits. As a result, The study adds to other work, including New York Fed research that says U.S. firms and consumers overwhelmingly bared the cost from tariffs. And there's an unprecedented arrest overseas. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the younger brother of King Charles, is being questioned on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Andrew Lowney is the author of Entitled, a blistering biography of Andrew that came out last year.
Certainly from my research, there's a very strong case to answer, not just for misconduct in public office, but also for sex trafficking.
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has consistently denied any improprieties over his links to Jeffrey Epstein, but he has not made any public comment since the release of the Epstein files. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
The world is always changing. Now you can trade on what happens next with Kelsey. What will the president say during his address? Trade on the outcomes live on Kelsey. Download the Kelsey app and use code FAN to get $10 when you trade $10. Kelsey, trade on anything.
A family office is a team built to handle the three biggest financial responsibilities.
What'd they do with everybody? Where'd they chase everybody to? Everybody's gone. Where they staying at?
They everywhere, man. Like
did they get you guys a places to stay or not?
Yeah, they got
SubX.News, by the way. I do reporting on that.
I know. They got a few people at that triage.
Where's that at?
That's like, I think it's on here, something like that. But a lot of them moved to like it's a lot of spots way over here by Mariano somewhere.
Oh, over there, underneath the bridge over there, underneath Halstead, where the old fish joint used to be.
So
right?
how you doing, man?
All right, man. Nice to see you, brother.
Man. All right, man. I've been staying with my auntie. I just left a couple people.
Are they getting anybody apartments or what?
Yeah, man. I'm on a list.
You keep telling me you're on the list. How long you damn on the list for? 50 million. You're gonna be dead by the time they get you a place.
My birthday was.
When was your birthday?
2/12. Oh, thank you. 2/12/64. I'm 62.
Mine was 2/14/68.
Oh, okay.
So we're the same generation.
Yeah.
Hey, happy birthday, my brother.
Thank you, man.
So they're staying over by Hubbard in the Fulton Market because I've seen everybody's. Yeah. They cleaned out the chocolate factory and everything.
I think they bought that Metro.
Oh yeah.
They're finna do something with it.
Yeah, because I was gonna do that video I was telling you guys.
Yeah.
And then Venezuelans, they called somebody to have me shot.
Huh?
I was over there in December. I was by the chocolate factory. We were having a fire. We're eating.
You ain't get shot, did you?
No, it's that Venezuelans. You know those Venezuelans? They hang around. They were doing the drug stuff over there. And then some nice-looking black guy came by and goes, "SubX.News, right?" He goes, "You better get out of here. You're gonna get shot." I was like, "Okay." So I didn't do my video, man. It is what it is. And now look, see, everybody's gone. See, if we would have stuck together, maybe I could have helped. But man,
they got a lot of people apartments.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's what we got to keep doing. I got to keep going. So I'm going to let you go, all right? Be safe, my brother, okay?
Man. Bless you, man.
Good seeing you, okay? Keep it up. Don't give up, all right?
Hey, man. Thank you, bro.
It's always good to see you, okay?
All right, man.
There you go, right? They got all apartments. There you go. How about that one? I like that graffiti there. Is that cool or what? Yeah. SubX.News, man. We do street reporting. Got that? That's what we do. There you go. How about that? This is all going to be gentrified, right? See what happens when you have gentrification in the casino? I'm posting that video, right? Sorry, I had to talk to you. See what happens when you have gentrification in the casino? That's the. I see what happens when you have gentrification in the. There we go. I like that graffiti there. How about that one, huh? I hate Meklo? What does that say? I don't even know what the heck that means over there, man. I don't know all these new graffitis, man. There you go. Let's take a picture. That's a nice one.
Y'all lying. Y'all parking cars on the street with no plates on them. The city not playing. They taking cars. Like the dealers buying cars and just leave them in lots or whatever. And on city property, they towing y'all shit. Guts to me.
There you go, right? I hate Melko. What? Meklo? Does anybody know what that means or what? I don't know what that means.
Feels like they're easier to to take or steal than, really any other car line. But for some reason, they're targeting, it seems to be mostly Honda Civics. I've heard of a couple Honda CRVs. We have not received any of those cars.
Chicago police say between Monday night and Tuesday morning, 24 different Hondas were victimized in Lakeview, a growing trend dating back to December.
Honda doesn't make any type of a locking device or anything that you could put over the steering wheel to prevent this really from happening. Some people have told us that they've had luck with the club, that kind of locks the steering wheel, prevents you from turning the wheel.
Phantom also advises Honda owners to park in well-lit areas when possible. Andy Dane, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
In health news today, researchers developed a way to predict when someone is likely to develop symptoms of Alzheimer's disease using a single blood test. Dr. Suzanne Schindler found that their models predicted the onset of symptoms with a margin of 3 to 4
I always
years.
love this area. Let me show you. It's really good graffiti here. It's a graphic artist that was here. It's getting old. It's going to get wiped out. Here she is. I'll show you my favorite graffiti in this area.
help people understand when they might
see this? That's a cool one there. But
findings of the
so
research could lead
right?
to development of treatments of Alzheimer's.
I'll show you the really good graffiti here. That is a famous graffiti artist that did that one.
Susan Glick, art writer Cecilia Fergakis.
But there's another
assistant
one.
producers Midiana Hutnick and Eric Berlin, traffic producer Anton Peters, broadcast managing editor Zach Weber.
Work and
Not the
money
dragon,
shape
but
Chicago
underneath the
every
dragon,
day.
that
From the
graphic
jobs
art
that
there.
build
See
it to the offices that run it. I'm Rob Hart.
See that stuff right there, the graphic artist right there. He's once in a while all over. I see his stuff over. I forget what that guy's name is, but he's got really nice stuff there. It'll be gone, so I got it all documented a few years ago. I've been coming here for many years. All right, let's keep moving, all right? Let's listen to the radio calls what we missed, huh?
boy. 7387 boy. Tesla. 7386. 7386. Can I get a division number for our red line? That is 09949. 7391 David. 7391 David. Another event number for a street stop, Roosevelt Green. That one is 09956. 7388.
See, they're all walking around, these guys, right? See that there?
7388 Charlie.
Solar riding train 5334 on the red line between 35th and 47th.
Okay, 5834 between where and where?
But check if they're underneath by K2 over there. See, I haven't been here for a while, right? I'm not dealing with nobody with a gun, right?
It's 09961.
7387 Charlie.
7387 Charlie.
Number please, stop on blue.
That is 09972.
4754.
4754.
CTA check, Western Blue Line.
A baby in a stroller.
Is this the one by the expressway or the one by North Ave?
Into Lake Michigan.
That's right.
Several bystanders jump into action and save the day.
That is 09981.
Before I can even yell anything, I just heard to go over and heard her
17 Citywide and assault in progress, Addison and Kedzie. College State in the bus operator and passengers on CPA bus 1512 that's going eastbound. Male black, he's wearing a black jacket. Nothing further for now. Don't want to switch.
7391 Adam.
7391 Adam.
I get an 8 of a number for 3 line Roosevelt.
Come on, man.
That one's going to be 09994. 10-4-10, David.
We landed at 1449 on the outside.
10-4, 17, 24 hours.
We still got some people down here. Here, see that? I'll show you.
7383, boy.
Take it up on number 79 on red line.
That is 10023.
This is K2 development. We're underneath Halstead right now.
7386, Adam.
Two event number 3 for Jackson, red line, upper and over.
Drugged up down here,
Got the station on 10026, platform 10027.
See that there? They're still down there. They're screaming and stuff. They're jacked up down there.
7387, boy.
There you go. See that?
7387, boy.
There you
go. Just an event number for Blue Line, Cumberland, platform.
That is 10031.
7388, Charlie.
7388, Charlie.
So you still got a tent city down there, right?
The red line. You show us clear after it.
Okay, I got you on it. You're okay?
10-4 squad. 5 boy.
Alright, 10-4. That's on event 10044. 10044.
7388, Adam.
7388, Adam.
I'm still event number for a train ride from Pulaski to Blue Line car.
So it's not all cleaned out. Just some is cleaned out, right?
That is on 10052.
7391, Adam.
7391, Adam.
Can I get an event number for a street Roosevelt Green?
That is 10067.
2233 units and 22 and citywide, a person with a gun call at 805 West 111, 805 West 111. Lanisha states her ex-boyfriend, a male black named Charles, is wearing all black. He has a gun. He battered her. She refused EMS. She states drinking is involved and he's outside of the location. Nothing further, zone on clear.
7391, David.
7391, David.
Can I get an event number for a street Roosevelt Green?
Alright, your number is 10086. 10086. Next unit.
7383 Eddie.
7383 Eddie.
35 red line.
That is 10088.
7388 Charlie.
7388 Charlie.
Controls on a mission, 47th at the red line.
Is this a trip mission?
Couple on the platform.
Alright, you got 10096.
7383 David.
7383 David.
I get a number 47 in the red line.
10116.
7394 Charlie.
7394 Charlie.
That number for red line Jackson.
That is 10121.
7383 Adam.
7383 Adam.
So how about a little lunch at 99 to the west?
That is on event 10124. Alright, for the units on Lakeshore Drive, getting another check to well-being. This one is at Belmont northbound, Belmont Lakeshore Drive northbound. A male, unknown clothing, walking in the far right lane. Then there's another ticket duped into this saying that he's wearing a black hoodie. Subject walking northbound.
They're doing drugs down there. See that guy? He's all jacked up. Don't you see that down there? That guy's jacked up. See that there? Don't you see him there? That dude's jacked up, right?
7388 Adam.
See that?
7388 Adam.
Can I read the number for train ride, train 7235 from Cicero to Western Blue Line?
That is on 10177. 7383 boy.
So now you know why that was removed from a casino area, right? They're doing drugs right in front of you.
Red line where?
Now you're watching drug use.
All right, that's 10184. 7383 Frank.
The number for Roosevelt Red Line.
That's what you're watching. That's drug use right in front of you, man. That's right there. Hubbard, that's Kinsey in back of that street there. That's Kinsey. You're underneath Halsted here. This is Halsted above us.
That is 10200. 102.
These are billion-dollar developments here. You're next to. You're
7386 Eddie.
That's the K2 development there. Look them up. That's a billion-dollar development there.
That is 10213.
You're watching drug use right in front of you, right?
738.
They're doing drugs on the other side there too, right there, man. That's drug use.
Can I get an event for a trip mission and a Blue Line Ketsy, please?
Right in front of you, right in front of your eyes, and you're right in the middle of one of the most expensive neighborhoods.
Thank you.
233, you just sent to another citywide, the battery in progress. First came in as a disturbance over at the Pizzeria or the pub and tavern. It's 12 juvies causing chaos. Now they fight. Second is on 5.
Where at?
NC Charlie. 233, you just sent to another citywide, the battery in progress. First came in as a disturbance over at the Pizzeria or the pub and tavern. It's 12 juvies causing chaos. Now they fight. Second is on 5. NC Charlie.
7383 Charlie.
Get a number, 69 to the red.
10253.
24 units and 24 criminal trespass in progress. 2337 West Tui. The fire previously and boards were put up. The boards have been removed. The people are inside the location. She sees flashlights moving throughout the building. This is zone 11.
Squatters. You just heard that, right? That's squatters. Listen up.
24 units and 24 criminal trespass in progress. 2337 West Tui. The fire previously and boards were put up. The boards have been removed. The people are inside the location. She sees flashlights moving throughout the building. This is zone 11, number 24.
7387 Charlie.
7387 Charlie.
Number, please. Logan Blue.
That is 10279.
7388 Charlie.
Tent City here, underneath Halsted by Fulton Market. You're watching people doing drugs down there. This is a tent encampment. They're doing drugs down there, right?
That's 5955 on the car.
5559.
Alright, that is on event 10287. 10287.
SubX.News on the spot reporting 5:55 p.m. February 19th, 2026. You're watching a drug tent camp underneath Halsted here. See that? They're doing drugs down here. It's a drug camp, right? There you go. And just to give you a reference where we're at, we're by Fulton Market District. This is one of the most expensive gentrifying neighborhoods in the city of Chicago. We're underneath Halsted, by the way, there, right? And that's the K2 development right there. Very expensive development. There you go. Yet they allow people to do drugs and hang out in tents down there. Yeah, they're doing drugs. That's drug activity down there. That ain't homelessness. That's drug activity. See that there? SubX.News on the spot report.
point.
Yeah, squad, hold us down on disturbance on Jefferson Park Blue. Lower.
Alright, you okay there? 738.
K2 tent drug activity in one of the most expensive gentrifying neighborhoods in the city of Chicago. You got drug activity happening right in broad daylight.
Just give me the event number for now.
10306. 10306.
7394 Charlie.
7394 Charlie.
Hey, squad, can I have your numbers for Roseville Rest, please?
5:55 p.m. February 19th, 2026. Kinsey and Halsted.
7383 Davis.
733 Davis.
We got number 47th in the red.
10367. 10367. What's up?
4755 provide good evening citywide TNA.
Keep back.
So you got stuff happening on the CTAs, you got squatters in places, and you got the drugs. So the city knows these guys are doing this. The city allows it. That's what I keep saying. The city is the drug dealer. The city is the criminal, right?
86 again.
Can I have a event number for the red line board, please?
Event 10389. 10389.
7363.
Go ahead.
That's what you're watching. I mean, I'm sitting here, right? So they moved all those people. They didn't cure them of their drug addiction. All those people that were underneath that
Number 4 transport to
the Bloomer's chocolate factory over there. They just moved them. They don't help them.
10395.
See, that guy's walking around. He's jacked up. That guy, right? He's jacked up. Everybody watches that. And then if something happens and he gets mad, and he might do something violent to people. You see that guy? He's all jacked up. That guy walking around. Don't you see that there? He's jacked up. That dude's jacked up. It's probably a drug dealer somewhere down there.
1460 West 79th Street, 3rd floor. Kenneth is the caller. The 15 and 16-year-old sons are fighting. The caller mentioned harming his sons. If police do not respond, no weapon, drinking, or drugs, no further 6 on 8.
People are getting tired of their kids, right? Well, you want me to go down there, right? But I remember when all these liberal weirdos tell me I need to go down there and talk to those people. Yeah, right. Whatever, man. I don't think so. There's a drug dealer down there, I'll bet you. Making money off those guys.
Can I have a number for lunch at
All right, ready to go? Let's go.
Think of that number 10416.
You gotta watch so you don't drop off the edge here, man. Remember, this is Fulton Market District. You see that there? It's a very expensive area. And they have those drug addicts and dealers right there, right? Six o'clock news, right? Let's see what we can hear, right?
A U.S. hockey team at this Olympics scores a gold. So a golden night for Team USA, and adding another gold in this major rivalry against Canada. Kelly O'Grady, CBS News, Milan.
Also, Alyssa Liu has won Olympic gold for the U.S. in women's figure skating, ending a 24-year Olympic drought. President Trump ramps up pressure on Iran to reach a nuclear deal, saying he'll decide in 10 days whether to strike that country.
They're tired. They want peace. And now is the time for Iran to join us on a path that will complete what we're doing. And if they join us, that'll be great. If they don't join us, that'll be great too. But it'll be a very different path.
Scores of U.S. warplanes join an armada headed to the region. Sources tell CBS News that the FBI has been in touch with the Mexican government as it investigates the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother, who disappeared from her Tucson home on February 1st. CBS's Anna Schechter says so far there appears to be no clear direction in the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie.
This is a very challenging position for law enforcement to be in 19 days into the investigation. There appears to be no significant lead that they are working.
New data by the National Center for Health Statistics shows that first trimester prenatal care has been declining. In 2021, 78% of mothers started care in the first trimester, but by 2024, it was down to 76%. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder.
Late or no prenatal care increased in 36 states and D.C. In states like Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, New Mexico, Texas, and D.C., more than 1 in 10 mothers had late or no care in 2024.
This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world. I'm Tony. There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers.
You're in Fulton Market District, by the way, right now.
Evening News.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost.
Fulton Market District, by the way, everybody. It's an expensive area. And you see, how far are you from the drug people? What, a block? Not even a block. It's right here. So it's kind of wild, that juxtaposition of drug addiction, drug dealing, despondency, and then you're next to people that are worth a lot of money, right? These guys kind of do the white guilt stuff or rich guilt, right? They have a lot of money, so they kind of want those people around them, so they kind of can give them 10, 20 bucks and feel good about themselves, right? That's why they allow that stuff around here. But you see by the casino where the mob is running it, the mob says, we ain't having that around here. You cleaned that out by the chocolate factory, right? So that's the differences, right?
As well as donations from band members. The exhibit opens May 15 at the Hall in Cleveland, where McCartney has been inducted twice. Once as a Beatle in 1988, and again as a solo artist in 1999. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News. American speed skater Jordan Stolz came up just short of his third Olympic gold today, losing out to China's Ning Zhongyang in the men's 1,500-meter race and instead taking silver. Stolz came up about 1 second too slow. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station, News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
The time now is 6:05. Good evening. I'm Glenn Marshall, and tonight we're sitting underneath some cloudy skies. It's going to have some rain at times and perhaps a thunderstorm early. And heavier thunderstorms can produce hail and downpours with the risk of damaging winds south of I-80, a low of 34 degrees. And then tomorrow, there's a wind advisory in effect from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow. But it's going to be windy, like I just said, and much colder. A couple of snow and rain showers around in the morning and a leftover flurry in the afternoon with the lows of 26 and the highs are going to be in the 30s. Of course, we're going to take a look at that AccuWeather 5-day forecast in just a moment. But right now, let's get to our top story here on News Radio WBBM. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says he's disappointed by a new statement from the Chicago Bears that suggests the team's focus on a new stadium is on the other side of the state line. The update from WBBM political editor Jeff Buckles.
The governor told reporters during an event near St. Louis that members of his office spent 3 hours in talks with representatives of the Bears and Illinois state lawmakers and mostly agreed on a bill to let the team negotiate long-term property tax rates at the Arlington Heights property where they want to build a new stadium. But he says the Bears asked the state to hold off on the bill for now and then released a statement saying the committee passage of Indiana's stadium bill was, and this is a quote, the most meaningful step forward in the team's stadium planning efforts.
They're saying to us that that statement is not some confirmation that they're moving to Indiana.
But the governor noted the statement said nothing about the movement on talks in Illinois.
I'm surprised, dismayed, very disappointed at what I saw.
And he says he's standing by to hear what the Bears want to do next. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9. WBBM.
Now, our reporters have been asking Bears fans downtown their thoughts on the recent team relocation proposals. And many
born and raised in Chicago, big time Bear fan, and it's a disappointment that they are probably going to move to Indiana.
I've been a Bears fan through and through, so this is probably like one of the most exciting seasons I've ever been through. Arlington Park is like better, I think. I would like to keep them on the lake.
And many residents of Chicago and nearby suburbs are saying they are keeping an open mind about Arlington Heights, but just about all have expressed disappointment at the thought of leaving the state to attend a Bears home game. Chicago aviation officials have rolled out a first-of-its-kind way to kill time before taking to the skies.
Midway is now home to the city's first airport video gaming lounge. Travelers can rent personalized, sanitized stations near Gate A5 and log on to their favorite Xbox, PlayStation, or PC games before their flight. Options include Fortnite, 2K, Call of Duty, Madden, and Minecraft. Open daily from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m., the Gameway Lounge also sells coffee, soda, and beer. Its creators say in a statement, the space, quote, gives Midway travelers a place to have fun, recharge, and connect before they board their flight. Costs depend on how much gaming you want to do. They range from $18 to $50.
$50? Are they crazy to play a damn video game?
6:08. Traffic and weather together.
They charge too much in our city for that shit.
So let's look out on the roads is Abby Ryan.
Man, they're nuts.
Right now, we are seeing a couple of delays, Glenn. This rush hour still winding down. Eden's on the inbound side. You've got a 32-minute ride. It's heavy from Tower to Skokie before 2E to the junction. On the rest of the roads, we're seeing delays on the Kennedy too. So far, if you're on the inbound Kennedy, O'Hare into downtown, it is heavy past Cumberland, past the Wintrust Mural at North Avenue on over to Ogden. 55 O'Hare in, 26 coming in from the Eden's Junction. Outbound, heavy Jaybird interchange to Ohio, Addison to Harlem, 20 to Montrose, 38 out to the airport. The Express, same as the locals, but also heavy from Addison to the Edens. If you're on the outbound side of the Eisenhower Expressway, heavy Jaybird interchange to First, 33 to Mannheim, 51 to I-90, inbound an hour and 3 I-90 back in, 42 coming in from Mannheim. Stevenson outbound, heavy Ryan to Pass Central, and then from Cass to Lamont, 37 to 294, 47 to 355, inbound 42. Dan Ryan on the outbound side, 27, inbound 20. If you're on I-55 in Will County, southbound slows, 355 to 53. I-57 outbound, heavy from the Bryan past Halstead at 18, Bishop Ford, 15 out, slow from the Bryan to the Stony Island feeder ramp. DuSable Lakeshore Drive northbound, heavy Navy Pier to Chicago, southbound, heavy Michigan to Chicago, Tri-State headed south, heavy past the Grand Avenue curve to Ogden, past the Mile-Long Bridge because of debris in the left lane. If you ever see anything, you can call us anytime. WBBM Mercedes-Benz of Hoffman Estates traffic tip line 855-780 Road. Next report from the Metro Traffic Center, 618 News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Thanks a lot, Abby. And tonight we're going to see some rain at times and perhaps a thunderstorm, but a low of 34 degrees tomorrow.
What happened to the weather?
30s, a low of 26 degrees. Currently at O'Hare Airport, it is.
What happened to that warm weather we just had? We just lost it? I'm just posting, son. Check this out.
Oak Park native Emery Lehman has completed his last Olympics.
They still hold the world record for the men's team pursuit, but Lehman and his teammates lost the gold to the Italians. The Marquette engineering alum tells us his team, however, has changed the sport with their technique.
We were definitely the first team to have like one guy lead the entire race and then have the other guys who push the entire time.
I think we kind of mastered that strategy with, setting the world records 3 times and being a champion.
4 Olympic Games and 2 medals later, the 29-year-old is ready to retire. Lehman says he plans to move back to Chicago and pursue a job in finance, but would be happy to talk with fans about speed skating.
I'll bring that medal, anywhere that people want to come see it, and whoever wants to hear the story and the journey.
Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And the Illinois police armed system had to be activated after a burglar barricaded himself inside an Arlington Heights home. It happened around 7:30 this morning near the 800 block of Chestnut Avenue. Arlington Heights police say 2 people were hiding inside a bedroom when the burglar walked through the home. Police were able to get the victims out unharmed while the man fired bullets inside before officers were able to take him into custody. So far, police have not reported any injuries during this incident. Artificial intelligence is part of life for students and their parents. A tech expert has some advice on how you can keep your kids safe using it the right way.
From calculators to Wikipedia, students have always found ways to use tech to do their homework. Artificial intelligence is the latest innovation that can help students with their homework or do it entirely. Matt Wren, tech expert and founder of VRAR Chicago, tells the Noon Business Hour that AI is a fact of life, and it's up to parents and educators to teach their kids how to use it responsibly.
AI is almost like having a teacher available to you to ask questions, like even when you can't be in class or there's not enough class time. So if you don't understand, how to do a calculus problem, you can ask the AI to explain it to you.
He says AI can be a homework helper.
You're not asking the AI to do the work for you, but you are sort of asking it to help you figure out how to do the work.
Rob Hart, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at that AccuWeather 5-day forecast. The time now is 6:13.
We're going to get dinner. We're going to get me a $5 meal or whatever they got here and a coffee. Oh, man, this place is packed. Did you guys hear? Did you guys hear about McDonald's? McDonald's is doing good. Walmart, they have a conservative outlook on the economy. They're always conservative. Walmart's a conservative. But Amazon has taken over Walmart as the biggest company in the world. I don't know if it overtook Alibaba. But Amazon has taken over Walmart in the United States as the biggest company, like grocery store stuff, right? So Amazon has bigger distribution. That's what they're doing. So that's one big story. What was I just talking about? Oh, McDonald's. McDonald's earnings went up because of their meals. Because they made the easy $5 meals and then it went $6. And everybody comes here because I know it's $5, right? It's a good deal. I like it, so I'm gonna get me one now. I'm gonna get me a hamburger meal, right? Let's see. I'm getting me dinner. And then we're gonna go to the west side, maybe. We'll see what's going on over there, right? A lot of news going on. A lot of news. We might be at war with Iran, right? That's the big international news is the Iran war, right? They got all the ships over there. They're ready to hit it. I heard one report said they got as much ships as the first Gulf War there. They got as much stuff in by Iran in that area that they had for their first Gulf invasion. That's how much we got over there. That's gone over the south.
Welcome to McDonald's. Could you please share more water?
No, but you ready for my order? Do you still got the $5 meal?
Yeah, we still have the $5 deal.
Yeah, give me the hamburger one, all right? And can I get a coffee with that?
You want the McDouble deal?
No. So what's for $5? What can I get for $5?
Only the McChicken and the spicy McChicken.
Nah, I don't want that one. Give me the hamburger one then. That's $6, right?
The McDouble deal is $6, and the daily double $7.
What's the daily double?
It's the same thing as a McDouble, but it just comes with the lettuce and tomato.
Nah, I don't need no lettuce and tomato. But give me that one, and then instead of the soda, can you give me a coffee?
So you want the McDouble deal, right?
Yeah, the $6 one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, with a coffee. Instead of the Coke, right?
Want medium or large for the coffee?
I don't know. What can I get with it?
Any size you want.
Give me a medium then. No cream and sugar.
That's it?
That's it?
First on the please, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yeah, McDonald's earnings went sky high. I don't know. I have to double check the figures, but I was just listening to it. I think it actually came out last week, and they did really good because of these deals. Because look, you get a drink, you get a fry, you get a sandwich, and you get the McNuggets. It's like an unbelievable deal. I mean, you can't. I don't think you can cook a dinner that cheap with that many choices. So they're good. And I know these other companies try to do that, but they're not as good as McDonald's. And I've tried the other deals. I think I tried a Wendy's deal, and it was so-so, and it was $7. Now, the other guys that are good is Culver's, but Culver's is expensive. I don't think they got a cheap one. I think theirs is $8 or $9 or something. It usually comes out with $10 with tax. So, I think this is my thinking. It's like Elon Musk says, the other big stories are about AI. AI, I just put that chart on there. AI is going to take 80% of the jobs away. 20% of the jobs will still be there. So if you know how to use AI and what your AI can be used for, then you'll be just fine. Look, AI is like the horse and carriage. Don't get scared. But you can't be the horse and carriage guy and say, I'm going to be the horse and carriage guy. You kind of get the horse and carriage story? AI is that. AI is when, look, in 1820, there was no cars. There was no cars invented. There was none. There was zero. The only way you got around in 1820, I don't even know if they had the carriages yet. You went by horse or carriage, horse and carriage. Either you rode a horse or you were in a carriage that was drawn by a horse. That was your transportation. Horse and carriage. That was your car. That was your truck. That was delivered. There's pictures of Chicago with horse and carriage downtown. Everybody knows that. When I was working at Wrigley Junior Company, they used to show me that place they just tore down across the street from the old Wrigley plant by 35th and Ashland. The old timers used to tell me there was a building there. My neighbor was going to buy that, Jesse. There was a building for the horse and carriages. You're like, what? They had a building where the horse and carriages were taken care of. That was across the street on the west side of Ashland, right side of 35th Street. That was where the horse and carriages were. So everything was done by horse and carriage. So that's Wrigley is only in the late 1800s, right? So think about it. We had everything by horse and carriage.
A double meal?
And a coffee, right? Yeah. But I just switched to drink, right? Thank you. So think about this. Everything was horse and carriage, horses. There was no electric trains. There was not even steam engines. There was none of that. The steam engine came after the horse and carriage. Everybody knows that, right? The horse and carriage was first. All right, thank you very much. Let's get going. All right, I got $12.50 back. That's not bad. So what? That's $6.50, right? And let's see what the bill is here. That's cheap. Yeah, 6 something, right? Hey, what's up? You got some napkins in there? All right, let me get out of here. Let me get out of your way. You guys are busy tonight. Take it easy. Have a good night. Oh, man, that coffee smells great. Woohoo! But, yeah, it smells good. It's fresh. You know, they grind their own coffee there on the machine, right? It's one of those grinder machines where they grind it and then they make the coffee. So I usually get a cappuccino, but I'm watching my weight, so we won't do that. But, so think about this as AI, so don't be scared. You know, they got all these boogeymans and all this boo, 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 and boo, boo, boo. Look, there's still blacksmith and people that do horses, but it's kind of nostalgic business, right? So that's what we're going through today with AI, and it's not a total transformation, because the horse and carriage to the car, was a big transformation, because you went from a live animal that had to be taken care of and fed, which a car has to be fed by gasoline. It's kind of the same thing. But a live thing, so you have to have a stable and all of this, and you have to have a specialized thing, which we have mechanics that take care of cars. But you kind of get the idea here. So you had horse and carriage for hundreds of years, right? I think it goes back to the Romans or Greeks, right? They had chariots. I don't know who else had them. I think probably I don't know if Aztecs use horses. The Mongols use horses, I know that. Whatever. So we had horses and carriages for many, 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 many hundreds of years. And then somebody invented the car, right? A moving car with an engine. And then that started changing. So that's what we're in now. The problem is with AI, it isn't that big transformation. It's part of the digital revolution, which we've been in since about the 80s. So that we're going from mechanical now to digital, where we had a lot of like filing systems. What do we do with files, right? We put them in a cabinet, we print out a paper, we write something, put it in a file folder, put a sticker on it, you put it in a divider and put it in a file. Well, you don't need to do that anymore. Now you put it in your computer on a server in the cloud. So you eliminate all of that work. You eliminate the trees, you eliminate the cabinets, you eliminate the sticker person. You see all the jobs you eliminate? Now, the thing with AI now, it's even more. AI can actually do some of the processing of what you need to do for a car. You can punch in into an AI of what's the problem with a car, and it'll kind of troubleshoot it for you. So the guy that's the mechanic can actually be faster. That's the point about AI. If you take it as something that helps you and does you better, then you're fine. But if you're like, I love my horse and buggy and I like walking 50 miles to get to school instead of getting in a car and it takes me 5 minutes, then that's where you're going to be. You're going to be the horse and buggy guy, and you're not going to be too many of you left. So that's all AI is. Don't be scared of it. Yes, it's different. Yes, you need to learn it. You might not have to, but our generation, it's going to be fast. But there's going to be a lot of people losing their jobs now. But if you learn AI and you have a good job that uses your hands, like a mechanic, like a cook, airline pilots, nurses, doctors, police officers, even teachers, they're still going to need those jobs. But if you don't adjust to the AI, you're going to lose out. That's what I'm trying to say. AI is going to make your job better. It's just like the car and the horse and buggy. You kind of get it? You can go on your horse and buggy today if you want. But if you want to get to California quick, what do you get on? You get on an airplane, right? That's the point. So that's all AI is. Don't get all weirded out about it, okay? I'd watch out investing in that stuff, though. It's a scam. So AI is it's not pure AI right now. It's just a language learning model that just anticipates what you say. It's not really thinking yet. So it's going to take a few more years to perfect it, where it starts to be artificial intelligence on its own. But it's not that yet. But I'll try to put up a nice explainer about it. I think I put it up there, the K recovery, right? That's what we're going into. So we're going to probably go into, and I hate to say this, and I've been saying this for at least 10 years now. We're going to go we're right now in a transition into our economies and our industries. So every time it happens, there's two things that happen. There's a depression and then there's a war. That's why we had World War I. It started actually with the Civil War. The Civil War was transferring from agrarian to industrial, right? We went from farming the South to the North. Everybody knows that the Civil War was more about economics than slavery. It was both. It was a transformation. It's like happening with AI now. So the same thing is happening now. You're transferring the work to another machine, which the machine now is AI. That's why you have all these data centers. That's why you have to be careful about the data centers, because they use too much water and they use too much electric. And the data centers are not for us, they're for companies. That's the point. That you have to be really careful about those data centers, where they're at, and have protections against their usage. And you should have a community benefits agreements, CBAs. Whenever they put one of those in your community or in your neighborhood, you have to have a CBA. We don't have a CVA with Pritzker, who made the quantum PSI down on the U.S. Steel Works, because he's a scam artist, right? Pritzker's a scam artist that wants secret deals because when he gets out of office, he wants to be president or he wants to do something like that. So that's the things that we got to always think about. We want to embrace change and we want to embrace technology, but we want to make sure that we're protected against negative effects of it, and we want to profit from it. Well, look at all that good wood. I'm going to have to pick this up one day. See that? Not today. I don't have my van. That's a lot of wood there, man. I don't even know. Look at that. That'd take me about, how many hours would it take me to get all that wood? That's good wood. That's really good wood there. That's excellent wood. See, that's because it's got the long pieces there. You see that there? The slats are slats. I might have to bring a Sawzall. I'll probably get a Sawzall with a good battery. Maybe I'll do it really quick. Just cut the nails. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I might invest in a new battery for my Sawzall. Get 3 or 4 batteries and come out here and just cut those slats off, right? We're going to listen to 6:30 News while I eat my dinner here, so I don't be chewing on stuff while I'm talking. Actually, I'm eating my fries because they're hot.
Harder than they expected. Fortunately, there are benefits programs that can help. Visit benefits.
Where was I going to go? I was going to go up here.
Among the millions of people eligible for thousands of dollars in benefits to help you age
let's
well.
go over here.
So you can focus on what's really important.
Take a park. I know they bothered me over here.
The time now is 6:28. Traffic and weather together on the 8s is sponsored by Climate Guard Windows. And here to tell us about that Bulls traffic on the Eisenhower is Abby Ryan.
Well, right now, Glenn, if you're on the Eisenhower, headed on the
we're in Kinsey Corridor here.
First at 27
Kinsey Industrial Corridor. It's a protected corridor. It's supposed to be, but they're putting restaurants and houses here. That's the United Center in front of us.
Around Manheim and then Cicero to Damon.
You know they're doing $1 billion project there, the United Center, right? That's what the Bears want. The United Center is doing a private project. I don't know how much they're getting public help with, but they're going to develop that whole area because the Wrigley model is the model now. You know how Wrigleyville is, right? They have the hotel there, they have restaurants there. It's all inclusive, so you don't have to travel, and it's because the city has become unsafe, and it's easier to have that, and it's all in one. It's like the Walt Disney World model, right? You keep the person inside the area, and you get all their money, and you make it a safe experience. So the Wrigley project they're gonna duplicating it here at the United Center, and they want that for the Bears, and the city is not grasping the economics of it yet, right?
34 degrees, and tomorrow is going to be pretty windy and much colder. Temperatures holding in the 30s and a low of 26 tomorrow night. Currently at O'Hare is 41 degrees, 42 at Midway, and along the lakefront it's 39 degrees. The time now is 6:29.
If you need windows, you need Climate Guard. We've been making windows in Chicago.
Which way you guys want to look, east or west?
Purchase with confidence, backed by our price match guarantee. Great financing available. Visit ClimateGuardWindows.com today to schedule a free in-home estimate.
I'm Michael Lober from Lober Motors.
We haven't been up here for a while. They kicked us out the last time. Remember that?
And I couldn't be more proud of the people who make it all happen.
We're going to sit here and eat my dinner, okay?
Mercedes-Benz and Porsche dealerships are filled with hardworking professionals who care deeply about our clients and about each other. It's truly a pleasure to come to work every day. Lober Motors in Lincolnwood. 2 dealerships, 1 family. Just east of the Edens and at LoberMotors.com. Driven to serve since 1936.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 1059 and WPBMNewsRadio.com.
Good evening. I am Glenn Marshall. The time is 6:30, and these are your top stories here on News Radio WBBM.
This is Nancy Hardy. Indiana lawmakers continue to make forward progress in a pitch to bring the Chicago Bears there.
A Chicago woman is sharing her story after being randomly punched by a man in the Loop early this week. The state investigation into a former Jeffrey Epstein property is reopened in New Mexico. Plus, President Trump's Board of Peace holds its first meeting in Washington, D.C. In WBBM Sports, the Bulls host the Raptors at the United Center, and AccuWeather is saying that there is a wind advisory in effect from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow, but tonight we're going to have some rain and possible thunderstorms, a low of 34 degrees. Tomorrow we're going to sit around in the 30s tomorrow with a low of 26 degrees. Currently it is 41 degrees at O'Hare Airport, 42 at Midway, and along the lakefront it's 39 degrees. Here is your top story. Indiana is one step closer to being the next home of the Bears. It comes after Illinois lawmakers canceled a meeting in Springfield to address a potential stadium in the northwest suburbs. WBBM's Nancy begins our Bears coverage with the latest move by Indiana lawmakers.
Before the unanimous vote, Indiana House Speaker Todd Houston told the Ways and Means Committee they are building a relationship with the Bears that he says is the foundation of a public-private partnership to bring the team to Hammond.
We have work to be done to bring this all to fruition and making sure that we get everything I's dotted and T's crossed. But they're willing to make a significant investment.
He says that investment is $2 billion to build a stadium at Wolf Lake, while the state of Indiana would issue bonds. The Bears released a statement that seems to stop short of a full commitment, saying the bill passing is the most meaningful step in their stadium planning so far, and that the team is committed to finishing due diligence for that site. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And as the talk shifts back to a new stadium for the Bears, some fans are feeling disappointed.
Born and raised in Chicago, big time Bear fan, and it's a disappointment that they are probably going to move to Indiana.
Park Ridge resident Phil tells us that a proposal to bring the Bears to Arlington Heights would make it a 10 to 15 minute trip for him, and he'd be more than happy to attend the home games. But while conducting an unofficial sidewalk survey in the Loop, asking Chicagoans and nearby residents how they feel about a move for their team, now coming off their first winning season in nearly a decade, the Hammond proposal is least popular.
I've been a Bears fan through and through, so this is probably like one of the most exciting seasons I've ever been through.
McKinley Park resident Joe laughs at the idea of an Indiana Bears team, but says that he would head out to Arlington Heights, even though from downtown it's about 2 hours via public transit compared to a 40-minute train ride to Hammond from the same starting point. Melrose Park resident Terry felt hopeful after making the playoffs, but says discussion about a move causes her to disengage.
Transportation is not the issue. The fact that they're trying to leave Chicago is the issue for me.
In the Loop, Brandon Ison, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Chicagoans continue to face a troubling trend. A woman is the latest person to be reportedly punched by a stranger in the Loop.
She said she was struck from behind Tuesday morning around 8:30 in the crosswalk at Clark and Washington in the Loop. It happened after passing the man she said targeted her unprovoked.
It hurt really bad. The adrenaline at that moment was so high.
And while she didn't want to give her name, she posted about it on TikTok.
And I've never been hit by a man before. I did not take that punch like a champ.
She went to urgent care to be checked for a concussion, but praised bystanders who stepped in and police.
He tried to hurt me, but other people, dozens more, try to help me. Individuals who are not well will attack out of nowhere, and I'm also not going to let that stop me.
Sarah Herrera, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And New Mexico is reopening an investigation into a Jeffrey Epstein former property.
New Mexico's Attorney General is reopening an investigation into allegations of illegal activity at Jeffrey Epstein's former Zorro Ranch. New Mexico's initial case was closed in 2019, but is being opened again after review of information recently released by the Justice Department. New Mexico's Truth Commission held its first meeting this week. The bipartisan 4-member panel of state House representatives is charged with investigating allegations the ranch may have facilitated sexual abuse and sex trafficking. Lawmakers also want to know why Epstein was not registered as a sex offender after pleading guilty in 2008 to soliciting prostitution from an underage girl, and whether there was corruption among public officials. Epstein bought the sprawling Zorro Ranch in 1993 from former Democratic New Mexico Governor Bruce King. I'm Ed Donahue.
And President Trump has officially kicked off his Board of Peace.
Board of Peace is one of the most important and consequential things I think that I'll be involved in.
Speaking at the inaugural meeting, President Trump said the initial goal is to rebuild war-torn Gaza.
Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, UAE, Morocco, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Uzbekistan, and Kuwait have all contributed more than $7 billion.
But the U.S., he said, is contributing even more.
The contribution of $10 billion.
The president added Iran cannot continue to threaten the region and must give up its nuclear weapons. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
And coming up, we're going to hear those low gas prices. The time now is 6:36.
Hi, I'm Jack Arnold from Arnold Electric. And I'm Jack. Oh.
There you go, right? So a lot of stuff happening. The Epstein stuff is breaking, man. You know, we have our own Epsteins here in Chicago, right? The Eric Scallender case. You ask, who's Eric Scallender? He was a union official who was the parliamentarian who ran a sex dungeon in Chicago. And he groomed his students to have sex with him after they graduated. At Kelly High School, he worked there 10 years. Chicago Public Schools covered up the case. I even talked to Chicago police. They said, oh, we can't do nothing because there's no blah, blah, blah. I said, wait, those are minors. You have to investigate. The sex crimes unit police officer said, no, blah, blah, blah. She made excuses to me. So we have the same thing that's happening in Chicago. There's groomers, and a lot of them are inside of the school system. That's all I got to say. This is the news.
Dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what relief factor.
And that's a fact.
800-4-RELIEF. 800 the number 4
I've written about it. Look up Eric Scallender, SubX.News, SubX.News.
800-4-RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
And at 6:37, this segment is sponsored by PackyWebFord.com. PackyWeb will beat any competitor's auto show detail. Start any F-150, Ranger, Maverick, Super Duty, or Transit. For details, visit PackyWebFord.com.
Now, the lowest gas prices from News Radio 1059 WPBM.
And thank you to our listeners for the following gas prices in Naperville. The PP on Plainfield and Naperville Road on Ed 75th is selling gas from $2.84 per gallon in the Alpine. The Shell on Wolf Road and 175th, they have gas for $2.97 per gallon. If you see a lower gas price, please give us a call at 312-409-4277. The time now is 6:38. Traffic and weather together on the 8th, and here to tell us more about that Bulls traffic on the Eisenhower is Abby Ryan.
Right now, we are seeing Glenn on the Eisenhower Expressway inbound, outbound some delays. Outbound heavy Sacramento to First, a 25-minute ride to Manheim at 43, out to I-90, inbound 55, I-90 back in 35, coming in from Manheim. It's heavy St. Charles to the Tri-State, Manheim to Cicero, and then around Damon, Bulls Bay goes to Ronald back clear inbound heavy Cicero to Kennedy Junction, Pier, Kennedy outbound 14's Montrose 32 out to the airport, inbound 47, O'Hare into downtown 25 coming in from the Eden's Junction. The Stevenson outbound heavy Damon to Cicero 26 to 294, 34 to 355, inbound heavy First Kedzie, a 38-minute ride to 355 on in. Dan Ryan out 22, inbound 16, I-57 outbound, so off the Ryan to Halstead. Bishop Ford.
All right, you guys ready to keep going? We're going to run it till 7, and then I'll take another break after 7, all right?
Heavy northbound Navy Pier to Chicago.
Let's go see what's going on here, right?
Tri-State South, so Cermak to Ogden, I-90 eastbound, J-Bound Tollway, heavy approach westbound, I-190, road work on the exit ramp at the toll plaza. I-80's back to normal, northwest Indiana looks good. The next report from the Metro Traffic Center.
Let's keep moving, right? Eric Scallender. Google it. The Chicago media covered it up, just like the Chicago media covered up her own beating. Leah Hope, I'm glad she's doing better. She covered up her own beating. Imagine, there was a lady just punched in the face Tuesday. If Leah Hope would have been public with her thing, maybe we would have not had more victims. You see, I get it. You can't victim blame. I'm not trying to, and I hope she's doing better. But that's why crime reporting is crime reporting. We don't commit crimes. We're not biased one way or another in crimes. I mean, you can say what you want with the criminal. Oh, man, look at that. There's a lot of... We got to get a truck or something. Look at that one. That's another good one there. Look at that. Man, they got a lot of wood out here, huh? See that there? That's not that good. You see how it's got the cuts in it? The other one was better, but I have to get that Sawzall. I have to get me a battery-powered Sawzall. I have one, but I have to get good batteries for it. I'm going to buy them, and I'm going to charge them, and then I'm going to come out here with like 5 or 6 batteries charged. I'm just going to cut it up real fast. I'll show you guys. Because you remember, see, I like to take the nails out because you don't know if you're going to cut the wood later. If you cut it with the Sawzall, you leave the nail inside the wood. That's the problem there. But hey, that's a lot of wood there. You seen it over at that other place. So yeah, I'm there's no way I'm gonna be able to do that. If I come out here with a Sawzall, boom, I knock it out, and that's right here down this street, right? But here, think about this. So Leah Hope got messed with in Chicago in January 2nd, I think it was. There was the stewardess that was beaten with the log on Michigan Avenue 2 years ago, right? There was a bunch of DePaul girls that were attacked. I don't know if they were molested. What was 3 years ago, maybe? So you see this pattern here? So you have a mayor who excuses crime, right? He excuses crime. He victim blames, says it's their fault, it's white guilt, or whatever crap he makes up, institutional, whatever he says. And it continues until Tuesday. So what crime reporting does, the basis of us doing our, and then the foundational basis of crime chasing while we do this, staying winning with storm chasing, is to show you what's happening. We have no... Look, storm chasers, crime chasers, we don't have no, no power over the event. The event is happening. All we're doing is recording it. When I hear the radio call of a murder, it's already happened. I don't have nothing to do with the murder. I have nothing to do with it. Whether it's a white man, a black man, a Mexican, a Chinese man, it don't matter. I have no bearing in the matter. And somehow people blame me for my reporting that I'm this or that, or I'm this or that. No, I have a bias on what should be done with the criminals, especially when they harm women and punch them in the face. Yeah, that guy should get 20 years in prison at least. 20 years in prison. Minimum. If you're punching people on the street, you're not on the street. I'll give him 10 years and 10 years in a mental institute. Maybe a little more freedom. But yeah, that kind of a person shouldn't be walking out on our streets. But yet, Leah Hope, before that, why is that happening? Why is it happening? Because we have a government that allows it to happen. That's why. That's what I'm trying to say here. That's why we can't let Brandon Johnson finish his term. He needs to be removed. One way or another, someone needs to file a claim against him. Some government agency needs to arrest him. Or maybe we have sit-ins around his house or something and force him to quit. That's what we need to do. I can't do it myself. I can't. I've tried it. I'm still waiting for my FOIA requests for my videos when they were chasing me over here. Remember when I found them going to an illegal meeting at the union and the guy came on and videotaped me? You know, they're refusing to give me those videotapes, right? Don't you remember that time? Who was watching that? Was it 2 years ago or last summer? Don't you remember that? I said, oh, the mayor's going to the union. Remember I was downtown in City Hall? I followed him. He came all the way here for a secret meeting. And then they made an announcement the next day. I said, well, what did you discuss? They hid it, and they were recording me. at the union here. I requested through a FOIA all the videotapes. They didn't give it to me. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. This dude is an illegal guy. He does illegal work. So we need to remove him somewhere. And I just said, I've done my part. There's only so much that I can do as an individual. I have to run my business, SubX.News, the way I can. And I'm not going to jail for people. I'm not. If I go to jail for something, it's going to be for me. I ain't doing that, man. I'm not going to jail for a cause, man. A young person can come up and do that, but I'm not doing that no more. I'm not into that stuff. So I guess that's what I want to get off my chest today, right? It's like, I don't know how much more pain, and I'm going to be blunt with this, the black community in the city of Chicago is willing to endure. I don't know what you're waiting for. He's a traitor. He doesn't serve the black interest. What don't you get about that? He was elected by Ku Klux Klan white liberals from Oak Park. Noreen Gutekunst. She was the main organizer of all of that. And Jason Lee, who's from Texas. They're not even from Chicago. The people who got him elected as the commissioner were not even from Chicago. He's from Elgin. Look at his pictures. Look at what he's done in his lifetime. Show me anything he's done. Here, show me one thing in his lifetime that he's done to help, whether it's the black community as a whole or an individual black person. Show me that. Show me one example. Not as the mayor where he's using my money to pay somebody. That's not him. That's my money. That's my tax money. If he's giving $100 million to a project, he gave $100 million or something like that to his father's church. Everybody knows that deal. That's the two first big deals he ever did when he was in office. He gave $28 million, and now he just gave another $80 million to Congress Hotel, to Congress Theater over there on Milwaukee Avenue. We're going to see how many bikes go here, right? Let me put my video on, right? Let me do a time study, right? Grand Avenue, 6:47 p.m., February 19, 2025. Time study of the bike lanes here. So, when he's doing stuff as the mayor, he's not. That's me. That's our money. I'm talking about, has he ever done anything from himself, not a part of his job, to help a black person? Anything. Zero. Anything. Or a community or anything. Has he established a community group? He says he's an organizer. Where is his footprint? There is no footprint because he never did anything. There is no footprint. I just wrote my article about my remembering Jesse Jackson. You read my article from the other day about tears and sweating, right? What tears get you and what work gets you? Read my article. Everything in that article, I have actual documents to prove everything that was done. I just looked through my computer the other day before I wrote the article. I just wanted to make sure because that was almost 20 years ago. I worked at Operation Push. I wasn't their employee. They let me use Operation Push to do organizing while I had a daytime job. It wasn't from the union. It wasn't getting paid. It wasn't part of an NGO. I did it on my own with Rosita Chitanda and Tony Barnes, both laid off black teachers. Then I got laid off in 2009. But before 09, 08, I already was in contact with Tony Barnes, and I was in contact with Rosita Chitanda through SubX.News, which I was a reporter for, which I didn't get paid to do. I'm a white man. At that time, I was 20 years ago, I'm 58 now, I was 38. I didn't know these people. I didn't know Tony. I didn't know Rosita. I didn't know either one of them. They reached out to me because they heard of my advocacy of crime and stuff. I was doing a lot of anti-crime stuff and violence stuff in the schools already. I did my first articles in 2004 and 2005. With Rosalind Rossi against violence in the schools. You look up my record. And look up my record. You can look at my record. You can Google my name. I'm a white dude. I was doing stuff in the African-American community. Why? Because I think it's right. I think no one should be subjected to violence. No one. And to make an excuse that it's okay. And that's why I'm really against this praying and rapper stuff. To say they're rappers and let's pray for them when they're 15-year-olds with guns and no one's going to prison. Yeah, you're part of the problem, my brothers and sisters. If you're saying they're rappers and we should pray for them, you're part of the problem. They're criminal gang members who kill each other, who are covering it up, who's giving them the guns and the drugs. So they're part of a criminal enterprise. That's who they are. Not all people kill each other for drugs. Not all people are in gangs. In fact, most people are not in gangs. Most people don't do drugs. Most people don't have guns. Most people don't kill people. But for some reason, the black community has accepted death in their environments and in their culture. I don't even understand that. That's bizarre. Why aren't the black community asking, where are these guns coming from? Well, they come from the FBI. They come from the police. They dumping them in. That's crap, man. Who physically handed that gun to that child? That person should get a life sentence. Life sentences. When a child uses a gun to kill another child, that should be a life sentence. That's a conspiracy to commit murder. Right? We're gonna check. There you go, man. That dude's jacked up right there. See that there? See that there? Right there. That dude's jacked up. Got it? Well, we're by the trap house now. We're gonna see how dangerous it is out here. And they shoot people over here. I gotta be careful. Right? Why does the black community take those excuses? Look, I believe in prayer. I believe in God. I believe in second chances. But you can't be saying these are rappers and we need to pray for them. No, you need to be saying, where are the people going to jail? I'm not the 14-year-old who's the killer. He needs to go to jail, but the guy who gave him the gun. Or the people who are giving them the drugs. Black kids don't make drugs in Chicago. Those are all imported. Let's see, they always do. They do prostitution right there. You go, they're doing drugs, right? They're doing drugs right there. See, those are right there. Or they do a lot of prostitution here, right? They do prostitution over here, right? That's what I'm talking about. And so the reason I got into this discussion is the crime chasing, right? And storm chasing. They blame the crime. They blame the crime chaser. They blame, well, it's like blaming the storm chaser on the tornado that tears apart a town. That's the comments we get. I've been getting that for years. It's getting a little better. It's getting a little better. But it's bizarre to blame me for the crime. Here, we're going to show you where are we at. We're on Spalding here, right? We're north of the trap house right here. We're on Spalding, a little north of the trap house from, I think that's Chicago Avenue over there in back of us. It's 6:54 p.m. It's February 19th, 2026. Yeah, there's a trap house in back of us where they kill people. Spalding and Chicago Avenue. There you go, right? I don't know who this is. This is the Night Ministries. Those are the guys that give out the tents. See that there? There you go. And they give out tents there, right? I should give them my business card and see if they want to do an interview, right? Let me get my business card over. Let's see if we can do an interview with these guys, right? So there they are. They're giving them stuff, right? The night ministries, they're okay. They've been around for a long time. But still, man, are you trying to get these guys off the street, right? So there you go. The night ministries here is providing services to these guys, right? Let me give these guys my card here, right? See, they got tents in there. These guys, those are the guys that give the tents out, right? And remember, there's a trap house in behind me, right? So, whatever. You heard the other guy. They're trying to get them houses, right? In apartments. I want to leave this guy do his thing, then I'll give him a business card, right? They're the guys that have the bus for the medical care, night ministries. They used to do a lot of AIDS stuff in the old days. Right? So you go, right? Those guys are right there, right around. Well, I'm pretty sure we're on Spalding right now, right? And they're providing services right now, right? I want to give them my card. See, there's a girl right there, right? I don't know if she's with the ministries or is she homeless, right? They do hookering over here, right? Yeah, I don't want to bother that guy. I'd like to give him my card. That way I can get an interview and then get into what these guys are doing, right? They all have those strollers there. You see that there? SubX.News on the spot reporting. 6:57 p.m. We're on Spalding here. And you're watching the night ministries helping these guys out, right? Let's see this, right? There you go. There you go. They might be providing medical care there. That's street medical care. That's a medic there. And then they give out supplies. Oh, they're busy right now. Just got my card, right? I want to give this guy my card, and then maybe somebody from the organization will call me and we can do an interview, right? Well, I'm sorry I had a private conversation. I didn't want to put that on tape, so we got something going on. Let me get out of here, okay? That's a good woman. She's doing a lot of good work. They all know me out here, right? So why don't we do this? It's 7:05. We ran 3 hours. You know I can't go over 3 hours. I'm going to take a little break. I just had a great conversation with somebody. I'm sorry I didn't bring the video with me. That sometimes I have these conversations with people. You have to be a certain way, right? And then I'll get back on if something's going on. I appreciate everybody watching. It is 7:06 p.m. It's February 19, 2026. It's SubX.News on the spot reporting. I don't know where we're at. We're at Spalding and Augusta right now. We're somewhere on the west side. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. We're going to keep moving. We're going to keep doing our work. I got some things that I'm working on. That's all I got to say. I'm going to need everybody's help. Everybody's going to be all hands on deck. Okay? That's what it's going to be. We're not going to get rich, but we might have some money to put some food on the table. We might not. We might just be a collective that works together and feeds each other and houses each other. We might do that where it's not even money involved. It's just helping each other out to get to a better space. If you need help with your politics, I might have one more run in me with the politics, but I'm about tired with that. I can help out with that, but I want to be more into helping people to be self-sustaining, self-sufficient, where when somebody wants to get off the street or get off of drugs or get out of their lifestyles, they have a chance and an opportunity to do that. That's what I'm going to be working on. That's how I'm signing off today on SubX.News. Whatever you think of what you see and what you hear me do, you need to look past that and see what you want to do and how you want to be involved if you want to be. And that's what we're working on SubX, right? We are not only reporters, we not only do the news, we are the residents, and we want change. That's what we're about. That's what our news is about. We want change. I want change. I'm not a crime guy. I don't create crime. I don't do that stuff. I want my city to be better. You know why? Not for my children, because my children are already older, right? They're in their 20s. I want my city to be better for my grandkids and my great-grandkids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids. That's what I want. I want my city to be the city where my grandkids can live safely, where the person who's on drugs can get off of drugs if they want, where the person that's in a gang can get out of a gang if they want, the person who's homeless can get out of homelessness, right? That's what I want. I want them to be self-sustaining and help themselves so we can be a better city. Okay, take it easy, everybody. Talk to you later from the west side. SubX.News signing off. I love everybody. Thank you for watching. I appreciate everybody. Okay, bye-bye.